The entire building as usual at WQAM. The station was off the air briefly in the last hour, and everything as usual, technically a disaster. But we got 24/7 broadcast. Just ask their engineering department, they'll tell you. As everything continues to be a big, gigantic floating turd at QAM. At any rate, everything here is great.
It's not the internet, it's the network, just to be accurate.
Whatever the hell it is. And the phone, of course, goes along with that.
Right.
2,080 votes on our poll yesterday, a shocking total. We had over 500,000 hits on our website yesterday. Hit, of course, rhymes with bit,
fit,
schmidt,
snit,
wit,
clip.
Anyway, which of these is most important to you, we asked? The presidential election, 686, 32.9%, about a third of this audience said that's the most important. My next orgasm, 614. When will I see Janet Jackson's other teat, 435? Now, you notice I'm going to be very careful in saying
teat.
Because although the headline in today's New York Post says, where the hell is it? Why I had it. Said tit for tat.
Yeah, I like tat. He gets all that.
At any rate, that's what it said. Now, I see they changed it. It says duo caught in booby trap. It did say tit for tat for just a second or two, and then Michael Powell saw it. Better change that. Let's see. When will I see Janet Jackson's other booby? 435. Will the Dolphins make the playoffs next season? 96. And, of course, we already know the answer.
No.
Will I go to heaven? 76. Silly people. Where are the WMDs? 75. Will the government take away my guns? 41 dangerous people. Will the Panthers make the playoffs this season?
No.
21. Will I burn in hell? 19. And will the U.S. allow gays to marry? 17. I'll tell you one thing. If you people don't stop looking at those graphic pictures we got of Justin and Janet on there, you're going to burn in hell for sure.
Just wait till we put more on there.
A response? Yeah, we're going to start putting a lot more on that website. Too bad you won't be able to see them unless you get your network back one of these days.
Yeah.
I sure hope your network isn't CBS. Boy, have I got some good stuff here today. It's a good thing. I mean, you can punch up the phone there, but I'm not playing that game today, okay?
No.
So if they ever get the thing fixed again, the network, so I can see what's going on and I have control over it, fine. But otherwise, bug off, George Corso, you idiot you. I know it's not his fault, right?
This might be.
Yeah, like I said, it's his fault. He's an idiot. First of all, the National Football League, being the very upstanding folks that they are, they've released a statement. I got a column here. It is so good. By Alessandra Stanley in the New York Times after Flash of Flesh. CBS again is in denial. So we'll get to that much later on. I got piles of this stuff. The best thing of all, before we get to Mr. Taglia Boo-Boos, is that Taglia Booby? Before we get to his statement about this grotesque episode, is that CBS last night, to show how remorseful they really are, Dan Rather teased the story for the entire newscast, and finally at 6:55 is their last story. They finally put the story on there again. How many million times have we seen Justin rip that thing off that booby?
Absolutely.
In the last 24 hours. How many million?
About 30, man.
30 million times, at least. Over. And of course, all of these super moralists are telling us, as they're showing this to us, how unacceptable and disgusting and disgraceful this was. See, Look at it. Isn't that terrible?
Yeah, look
here
at
it is again.
Are you
just in case
yet?
you missed it the first time, here it is in freeze frame and slow-mo. But nobody's got a better... Boy, that Eric redeemed himself yesterday, man. Nobody on any website anywhere has got a better montage collage of crap than we got, as far as that story is concerned, right?
Right.
Just click on that picture and then start taking a peek at all the other things that start popping up and falling out. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe they just had a falling out with CBS, which is why they're threatening to take him off the Grammys next Sunday. But we'll get to that. Anyway, Paul Tagliabue says, we were extremely disappointed by the MTV-produced halftime show. It was totally inconsistent with assurances our orifice was given about the content of the show. The show was offensive. I don't think so. Inappropriate. I don't think so. And embarrassing to us and our fans. We will change our policy, our people, and our processes for managing our halftime entertainment in the future in order to deal far more effectively with the quality of this aspect of the Super Bowl. That's ass with one S. This aspect of the Super Bowl. That's the statement from NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue in regard to the boo-boo regarding Janet's boobie. Now, the National Post here in Toronto today has got a sensational, it's the best. I'm not going to read the whole thing, though. Editorial, The Bull and the Bust. I'm just going to read two paragraphs, which I find most amusing. And keep in mind that the rest of the world is laughing at you, America. I just want to tell you that again. They're laughing. They're holding their sides. They're scared crapless on the one hand, but on the other hand, they can't help from peeing their pants from wetting themselves profusely over how silly America is once again over a little bit of nudity. Just a little teeny tiny bit. Not even a nipple, not a nip. You'll be pleased to know, though, those who are very concerned about these things, that the FCC is now investigating not just that little segment there, that little booby. They're investigating the entire halftime Super Bowl show. And commercials, too, like the one with the farting, and then the one with the little kid seeing the mommy reaching up in the cupboard and her skirt going up, and there's her rectum ass. There's her ample ass. They're investigating all of these things because Michael Powell now is more than just chairman of the FCC. He is now Vice Marshal Powell, with new and expanding powers every moment. And you will not say these things, and you will not titter, and part of that anyway. That's right. Anyway, the bull in the bus, National Post says, according to Michael Powell, the U.S. Federal Communications Commission chairman, children, parents, and citizens deserve better than this classless, crass, and deplorable stunt. Take a deep breath, Mr. Powell. Whether the incident was a simple wardrobe malfunction, as Mr. Timberlake claimed, an effort by Ms. Jackson to promote her upcoming album, or a bid to prove that she was not in fact her brother Michael, it's hard to imagine that a fleeting image of a plastic surgeon's handwork will be what corrupts America. Mr. Powell has ordered an investigation of the CBS broadcast, but this overwrought prude aside, we suspect that is the greatest line in the history of journalism. This overwrought prude aside, we suspect the majority of America's hand-wringers have already moved on. Hundreds of millions of fans went home or stayed home happy on Sunday night. Most will remember the game's great plays vividly long after Janet Jackson's breast becomes the answer to an unusually obscure question in some future edition of Trivial Pursuit. What a great article by the unctuous right-wing National Post. And keep in mind, this is a very conservative paper, and yet they find it just embarrassing and humiliating. And it says, take a deep breath, Mr. Powell. This overwrought prude aside. Meaning you, Michael Powell, you silly goose, you asshole, okay? And I'm saying that very enthusiastically because the day will be coming very soon when we can't say asshole on the radio no mo, okay?
Or even wipe one.
Or even wipe an ass.
Rectum.
That's right. Unless maybe it's with handy wipes. Very antiseptically, too, very lightly. In fact, I think we'll all have to get a bidet just to make sure that we clean all that crap away.
I got mine.
Good for you. Anyway, here's the new poll for today. Not that do we want to milk this thing? See, now that's another play on words. I don't want to get carried away.
Do
we want to milk it?
Yes.
Okay, I bet you do.
Sure.
What's your take on Boobgate? Justin and Janet at the Super Bowl. That's our question today on NeilRogers.com. Hopefully we'll get another, and we already are getting a resounding. In case you missed seeing all those wonderful pictures on there, those TD pictures, take a look at them today, over and over again. Especially the one that's animated. It's in motion. He put the motion in his basket. As Justin is reaching across and just rips that baby.
No.
Just ripped it. Like I said, right there. It was close. What's your take on Boobgate? I loved it. When can I see more? It was shameful. The FCC should stick it to him. Yeah, the FCC should stick it all right. I think it really was an accident. Now, I noticed, I think it was the Sun Sentinel, one of the papers took a poll on this yesterday. Now, you people who really believe that this was an accident, man, when we sell you the Brooklyn Bridge, at that point,
really, nobody really thinks that.
Wow. It was totally contrived. I loved it. It was totally contrived. I hated it. Haven't seen it, which I don't know where those people are. They somebody must have stolen their TV. Even on the Animal Planet channel, they were showing it. Discovery Channel.
The crocodile hunt.
A&E, they were showing it. Or Grow Up America, You Boobs. What a great list of choices there. What's your take on Boobgate? I loved it. When can I see more? It was shameful. The FCC should stick it to them. I think it really was an accident. It was totally contrived. I loved it. It was totally contrived. I hated it. Haven't seen it. Or Grow Up America, You Boobs. Another magnificent poll, if I do say so myself. 12 minutes after 10 at 560 WQAM. By the way, don't forget our Hot Couples Contest is up. Speaking of all this perversion and filth and skin and flesh that Michael Powell is so embarrassed and humiliated by. Oh, my God, don't look at that booby. Look away, son. Let's see, through February 13th, through, what's the date today, 3rd? So you got another 10 days to submit your entries. Email your pictures for our contest to contest@neilrogers.com, along with any messages you have for Miguel. We'll give you all the details in a minute. Right now, a reminder that President's Day is less than 2 weeks away, and that means that those mall stores and showrooms are going to be running their annual phony mattress sale. You know, the ones where they double the price and they say, hey, guess what, we're going to give you half off. Well, if you really want rock-bottom prices on the best mattresses around every day, 365 days a year, pick up that instrument and call 1-800-MATTRESS. That's the number for our good friends at Dial a Mattress. No phony sales, no bait and swish, just everyday rock-bottom prices on the complete line of Sealy, Serta, Simmons, King Coil, Tempur-Pedic, and Stearns and Bananas Foster. Choose from dozens of models at low, unbeatable, everyday discount prices. You can rest easy and enjoy a great night's sleep for years to come by calling 1-800-MATTRESS right now. And don't forget, only Dial a Mattress lets you choose a 2-hour delivery for your window or a window delivery. They'll stick windows on your ass. That meets your schedule any day, 7 days a week from 8 in the morning till 10 at night. In other words, if you want them there from noon to 2, 1 to 3, 2:45 to 4:45, they'll be there. Dial a Mattress is proud of their overall customer satisfaction record, and you can't beat them. With low prices, same-day delivery, free setup and removal, it's easy to see why Dial a Mattress is ranked the best in the universe in customer satisfaction. So don't be fooled by those phony ads. Don't get sucked in by those expensive, overpriced bedding in department stores. Do what I've been doing for years, along with George and Boca Brian, Miguel, even Fat Boy. We've all made that one simple call to 1-800-MATTRESS. You ought to do the same. 1-800-MATTRES, or do it online at mattress.com.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
America loves to watch boobs and butts and boinking.
Dear penis, I don't think I like you anymore. You used to watch me shave. Now all you do is stare at the floor. Oh, dear penis, I don't like you anymore. It used to be you and me, a paper towel and a dirty magazine. That's all we needed to get by. Now it seems things have changed, and I think that you're the one to blame. Dear penis, I don't like you anymore. He sings, dear Rodney, I don't think I like you anymore. 'Cause when you get to drinking, you put me places I've never been before. Dear Rodney, I don't like you anymore. Why can't we just get a grip on our man-to-hand relationship? Come to terms with truly how we feel. If we put our heads together, we just stay home forever, dear penis. I think I like you after all. Oh, and Rodney, while you're shaving, shave my balls. All
right. 10:18 at 560 WQAM. We got 91 votes at about a heartbeat. It's faster than you can say Greg Reed's a douchebag. 91 votes.
Really?
Incredible, ain't it? Too bad you can't see it there on your little monitor. You see it?
See what? See
Just
this?
pretend.
See
anyway, what's your take on Boobgate? 91 votes. Grow up, America, you boobs. 57. That was my vote, of course, being a man of the world. It was totally contrived. I loved it. 12. I loved it. Can I see more? 7. Oh, believe me, coming soon to our website. Lots more. It was shameful. The FCC should stick it to them. 7. Right. It was totally contrived. I hated it. 5. Must have been a bunch of 5 faggots, don't you think?
Or prudes.
I think it really was an accident, 2, and I haven't seen it 1. I think it was really an accident, 2. Oh, my God. At any rate. So the initial headline, when you go to the website, originally New York Post, it does say tit for tat, but when you click it on, it says duo cotton booby trap. I thought I had imagined that. I wouldn't make anything up like that, would I? Yeah. But I didn't. It said tit for tat. Well, that's what it says in the New York Post, okay? Don't believe me on it. CBS is moving to bounce Janet Jackson and Justin Tinkerbell from next Sunday's Grammy Awards amid the national uproar following their X-rated primetime Super Bowl stunt. In other words, they're ready to say bye, bye, bye to Janet and Justin. Sources told the Post the network will demand the 2 stars be tossed from the 46th annual Grammy Awards if CBS's probe shows the duo schemed in advance to expose Jackson's pierced breast during the halftime spectacle.
Oh, my God.
How do you like that?
Bye, bye, bye!
Jackson admitted as much in a statement last night, saying, the decision to have a costume reveal at the end of my halftime performance was made after final rehearsals. A costume reveal.
I like it.
She said MTV, which produced the show, did not know about the boob surprise, and she apologized for the stunt, saying it was not my intention that it go as far as it did. The Grammys, which will be held in Los Angeles, will be telecast by CBS, which also show the Super Bowl. Jackson is scheduled to be a presenter, and Timberlake is slated to perform. Perform what?
Bye!
I thought the Grammys were for music. What the hell's he got to do with music? As many as 90 million fans watched will undoubtedly become the most famous halftime performance in history. During a sex-charged duet of Rock Your Body, Timberlake sang,
Bye!
I'll get you naked by the end of this song, and then ripped off a piece of Jackson's leather top, exposing her breast. Sans nipple. I'm going to say it again, and everybody seems to be forgetting this in the middle of this big boob fest, is that the only thing that is prohibited is the nipple. You didn't see the nipple. It had that, huh? Oh, a little tiny bit. It said Jackson's nipple showed through a metallic sun-shaped medallion held in place by a tiny piercing. The nipple was encased in that piercing, man.
No, but it poked through.
Well, it poked a little teeny tiny bit.
Ah, that's enough.
In his apology, in fact, that'd be a good poll question. What percentage of the nipple has to show through before it becomes X-rated?
About 30, man.
Before Michael Powell starts getting his powers all bent out of shape. In his apology, Tinkerbell said the titillating surprise was not intentional. It was merely a wardrobe malfunction, is what he said. But he later told Access Hollywood that we love giving you all something to talk about. They're just toying with him. They're toying with him.
If he fell off a cliff.
CBS, oh man, I talk about that for a month. Come on, Justin, you can do it, or maybe we can put him in that in that space shot with his buddy there. What's his name? Lance Bass. Oh. CBS and MTV both denied they knew ahead of time about the stunt, but photographers covering the Super Bowl reported that reps for the two artists told photographers where to stand in order to get the best view. You ready for that?
Yeah.
Photographers covering the Super Bowl reported that reps for the two artists told photographers where to stand in order to get the best view. So in other words, anybody that votes, it was an accident, which we have two of those votes on there. You need a lobotomy immediately. In fact, we're going to get Sheridan's doctor from Passions to take care of you. One shutterbug said handlers for Jackson and Tinkerbell advised them to be ready for the surprise. FCC chairman, the unctuous, obnoxious Michael Powell, blasted the halftime spectacle as classless and said the FCC will immediately begin an investigation, which we got that story next. I got just a whole, thank God I got a pile of stuff here today, you know what?
Yep.
With all your technical problems down there at QAM.
Oh, look at those phone lines.
What?
They're ringing.
Well, screw them. I'm not playing that. Well, punch up one of them, okay. QAM. Hello? See, like I said, don't even waste the time. Okay, we got too many fish to fry here, okay?
All right.
We're rolling it, man. We finally turned the corner here. We discovered that America wants to see naked boobies. It's a major discovery. And Michael Powell is saying, oh, this was the most disgusting, right? And well, wait till we get to the next story about how they're investigating even the farting dog they're going to get upset about. And then, of course, that blast of hot air that came up through the sewer in New York. Anyway, like millions of Americans, Mr. Powell said, my family and I gathered around the TV for a celebration. Instead, that celebration was tainted by a classless, crass, and deplorable stunt. Our nation's children, parents, and citizens deserve better. God forbid that those children should see a naked boobie, or at least almost naked, and maybe even a little nip. Officials at TiVo, the popular device that lets people record and replay live TV, reported that the moment was the most TiVo'd in the company's history, the most TiVo'd in history.
All right.
And the internet buzzed with pictures and videos of Jackson's breakout performance. And let me say it again, we broke all of our records by so far with over 538,000 hits in one day. Just shocking. They were foaming, and they're still doing it. They're still foaming at the mouth and at the crotch. How do you like that, Michael Powell? Hey, well, I have one suggestion for you. Yeah, you idiot. Her record company took the opportunity to send out copies of her new single to radio stations. That single, by the way, wasn't supposed to be released for another 2 weeks. But just happened to show up on PD's desk yesterday morning, the day after the event.
Strike while it's hot.
Just an accident. MTV apologized for the incident. The NFL said the cable network known for pushing boundaries will never be invited back to produce a halftime show. Right. In an internal memo obtained by the Post, CBS boss Les Moonves told staffers, I want to offer my personal assurances we're looking into this matter. We'll do everything we can to get to the bottom of it. The bottom.
Rectum.
In fact, that's going to be next year. She's going to they're going to show her ass. Although we did see ass yesterday in that one commercial.
I didn't.
And we're going to do something about that real fast, pronto tanto. We don't want to see no more naked ass, especially when some little kid's sitting there at the damn breakfast table looking at mommy's ass. That's bad. People are dying all over the world in Iraq in our hand, and our kids are dying over there, but we're worried about some kid seeing his mommy's ass. We attended all rehearsals of the show, Mr. Moon Man said, and there was no indication at any time that such an inappropriate display was contemplated. Of course, we already know that they didn't rehearse it ahead of time because it would have been nipped in the bud, right?
Right.
It would have been nipped in the bud, so they didn't rehearse it ahead of time. It was the surprise that MTV had been promising on their website since January 29 anyway. They already told everybody ahead of time they were going to do something wild and off the beaten track, the beaten off path, and was it? And now we have these very serious discussions. We have to have an investigation. Was it contrived? Was this just an accident? Man, oh man, grow up, America, you boobs. That's the right answer, and thank God it's running away on our poll. Look at that. Running away with it.
Oh, look
Get
at that.
a life. Just like it says here. What does it say? Take a deep breath, Mr. Powell. You idiot, you simpleton, you goody two-shoes lunatic of the far right. Here we got Cheap Channel and all these other companies that they're letting up buy every radio, TV station, and newspaper in America. And, we got all right-wing all day, all right-wing spin all day. And what are they worried about? They're worried about a naked boobie in a halftime show at the Super Bowl. You jackass, you. 27 after 10 at 560 WQAM. Hey, guys, last time you looked at it, you decided it's just too small. It doesn't impress women. It certainly doesn't last as long as it used to. Take a breath, Mr. Powell, because we're talking about your paycheck, of course. Not yours. Can you imagine how much money those grave robbers got?
Oh, God.
Your whole family, you're a bunch of sellouts. Your daddy and you're a bunch of sellouts, okay, to the right-wing fascist establishment. Anyway, call Fast Train toll-free at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN to start that new high-paying computer career. In just 4 short months, Fast Train can help you get yourself a new high-paying computer career. The demand for computer professionals continues to grow like Topsy. So if you want to get out of your dead-end job and say goodbye to your schmuck boss, call Fast Train today at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. And with 7 locations around town, Fast Train's bound to have a campus convenient nearby you. Fast Train offers you job placement, financial assistance for people who qualify. With day, night, and weekend classes, there's positively no excuse to stay in your dead-end job no more. If you register now, you can have that new high-paying career in just 4 short months. So call them today or check them out on the web first if you like, because now you can have a big, impressive one, too, a big, fat paycheck. That's fasttrain.com on the web or call them at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Thousands of Americans are victims every year. Thieves stop at nothing to take your car. Until now. Introducing the newest in auto theft protection, the Howard Dean car alarm.
Hey, man, look, a Porsche. Give me the crowbar.
When installed, the Howard Dean car alarm will deter the most crafty would-be thieves. The Howard Dean car alarm. Now available in select states.
South Carolina and Oklahoma.
And coming soon to the rest of America. None of the money generated by the sales of the Howard Dean car alarm benefit the Howard Dean for President Campaign Fund.
Thank God. 10:32 at 560 WQAM. I got those big 7 primaries and caucuses today. Anybody care?
No.
No, they're still showing Janet and Justin over and over. It's disgusting. Look at this. Isn't that disgusting? Can you
Janet
believe that they had this?
Justin and Janet.
Right. How many minutes before we get that bit?
About 30, man.
Right. 188 votes. Are you ready for that? 188 votes in a matter of moments. What's your take on Boobgate, the most talked about events in the history of mankind? Did they talk about Hiroshima this much? No. Nagasaki?
No. The Holocaust?
The end of WW2? No. Vietnam?
No.
JFK got shot?
No.
Bobby Kennedy?
No.
Martin Luther King? No.
Industrial Revolution?
George Washington got a good set of teeth?
No.
Chopped down a cherry tree?
No.
Nothing even close to Janet and Justin's Boobygate. Now keep in mind, the same people like Michael Powell that are whipped up into a frenzy of righteous indignation about this, these are the same people that gave us Penisgate.
Right.
And President Bubba with his blowjobs and the stain on the blue dress, and Kenny Starr and his big Star report, which was so X-rated that even Janet would be blushing right now. Reno, not Jackson. Well, how can you tell when Janet Jackson's blushing anyway? 188 votes.
Her nipples get hard.
Was that well? And we had a C. Grow up, America, you boobs. 111, 59% of this audience says it's time for you to grow up and stop being a bunch of overgrown children. You idiots, you. It was totally contrived. I loved it. 27. I loved it. When can I see more? 16. It was shameful. The FCC should stick it to them. 13, 6.9%. Goody two-shoes. It was disgusting. Bah! And by the way, those same people are the ones who are checking it out on our website over and over and over again with their hand on their noodle. It was totally contrived. I hated it. 13. Gotta be Matacones and cheese.
C.
I think it was really an accident. 5. It was an accident. I mean, you know, the fact that they talked about it and promoted it ahead of time, it was just an accident.
He was really reaching for her crotch.
And I haven't seen it. 3, of which I'm sure Blind Mike is one of those. Out of 203 votes. Huh?
You're right.
Well, how could, if you have a television set, is there any chance you haven't seen it? No. Even on Disney, they showed it over and over again.
On the Weather Channel.
On the CBC, they showed it.
It was partly booby.
Let's see, we got some faxes here before we get to more of the big stories. It says, all this simpleton, immature talk going on all day long is what causes the kids to be obsessed with the human anatomy. If we were truly in touch with ourselves, yeah, that's the problem, they're touching themselves, in our intellect, our academia, our common sense, nothing would have been said and the kids could go to school and play kickball rather than wonder what is so bad about the woman's body. Very good point. Shame on the people running this perverted society we live in. Neil Speed the Children said Godspeed first. They crossed it out and they put like,
oh, God.
Speed the Children. Beautiful. Excellent thought. The old coot says, last night Letterman said that the last time he had a costume malfunction, he became a father. And it says, the old coot says, screw Michael Powell.
Squirt, squirt.
Screw him. Amen. America has voted Michael Powell, and they agree that you're an asshole, man, that you're a prude, you're an imbecile. In fact, what does the National Post again say? This overwrought prude aside. You're an overwrought prude. Right. Posturing for the public. Of course, it's an election year, and we have to show you how much more moral. We brought decency back to America. Just the fact that we've lied about creating a war that we cooked up ahead of time and made all excuses about, and sent your sons and daughters over there to die for no good reason at all in Iraq, don't confuse us with the facts. Because the Bushmeister right now, he's busy appointing a very independent panel of people like Paul Wolfowitz, Henry Kissinger, Richard Pearl, and other, Bill Crystal. All objective people. And maybe he'll even stick Bob Novak in there. Now, let's get to the real juicy story here, okay? This is because it goes to show you this is more than just, well, I better save it for after the break.
Break.
I was oblivious. The Beast made some reference to me about this yesterday while we were celebrating. There was a football game Sunday night. The Patriots won 32-29, by the way. They're the Super Bowl champs.
Huh?
At least one killed as New England fans turned violent. I hadn't even seen that. Why should Boston be different from any place else where after a sporting event, major victory, people get a little bit carried away, a little psychotic? Probably because they've been repressed so much and haven't seen enough breasts. At least one person was killed when a motorist plowed a vehicle into a crowd of revelers after the Patriots went over the Panthers. Boston police said on Monday the driver, Stanley Faloma, backed his SUV down a crowded street near Northeastern University, struck at least 4 people before driving away. Faloma was one of the 4 people arrested overnight in Boston, where hundreds of rowdy fans overturned cars, broke windows, set fires, and pelted police with bottles and other objects following the Patriots' second Super Bowl victory in 3 years. And, of course, that might have been part of the problem, because what's the Super Bowl or any other football game, good American style, without lots of beer, okay? Tons of beer, hopefully Budweiser, because they spend $2.3 million for 30 seconds on those spots.
Hey, the drunken riot is the real event.
That's right. So I thought we'd just mention that in passing. Not that anybody really cares, because the booby is still a major event. That's the talk of America from coast to coast, from pillar to post. We got primary elections in 7 states, 2 caucuses, 5 primaries.
Yeah.
And America's worried about Janet Jackson's boobie, which, quite frankly, and I've seen a lot of boobies in my time. It might come as a surprise to you, being the old fag that I am. I've seen lots and lots of boobies. How many thousands?
About 30, man.
Probably at least 30,000 boobies in my time, and hers is somewhere in the middle as far as,
it's
come see, come saw, right?
It ain't no thing, but it do got a ring.
It ain't no thing, but it's got a ring.
Yeah.
I heard Justin was wearing a ring, too, and they were planning to show that at the Grammys.
Yeah, that's the good news.
Yeah, but the only problem is he ain't got nothing to put it on. He's just going to hold it up. Hey, what does this look like, guys? Oh, man, it's one of them. How sad. How really embarrassing I am. I'm just embarrassed for America. I'm humiliated. And especially my colleagues in the media. And I say that jokingly because I don't want to have nothing to do with any of you. You assholes at CNN, CBS, MSNBC, Fox, I don't know because I don't watch it. I mean, I can't imagine that the good, righteous, right-wing folks at Fox, the people of the cloth, that they would be showing something like this, are they? Yes. Over and over again.
Yeah, the washcloth.
Yeah, people of the washcloth is right. Don't forget our Hot Couples contest. Speaking of washcloths, you have till February 13 to submit your entries. Email your pictures to contest@neilrogers.com. If you'd like to send some personal messages to Miguel, be sure and use that same address, contest@neilrogers.com. And then, the week of February 16, we'll let you vote as to which couple you think is the hottest, which one you are most desirous of. And the couple with the most votes at the end of that week wins their choice of these first prize, either the trip for two to hedonism in Jamaica or trip for two to Royal Oasis Casino in the Bahamas.
Yeah, man.
And then, of course, the second, the runner-up gets whichever trip is left over, which ain't bad. The third place prize is a little bit less lofty. Or is it more lofty?
Loftiest.
It's a pizza lofty, a dinner for two to the Pizza Loft. All the contest rules are on our website, neilrogers.com, which is where you'll also find Justin and Janet doing it and shaking it and baking it and quaking it and ripping it and whatever else they're doing. Right. In slow-mo, close-up, freeze frame. Get on there and take a peek, okay? You will not die. You will not have hair grow on the palms of your hands, etc., and so on. The world will not come to an end. The decision to have a costume, look at that. There's Janet again.
TV, CBS.
You know, she's just pissed off because her brother's getting all the media attention again.
Well, she showed him.
So leave it. Yeah, she showed everybody. He said, ain't no thing. He's busy. He's got smaller fish to fry, okay? He's got younger fish to fry. 19 before 11. Speaking of fish fry, welcome into Chinese New Year with the Emerald Coast from now through February the 8th, which is another 5 days. Join Emerald Coast for its traditional Chinese New Year specialities, as they say. Why do the Brits say specialities? Because they're silly. Holiday specials at the Emerald Coast include roasted duck, suckling pig, sweet and sour fish, and an assortment of Chinese dumplings served every evening during the New Year celebration. With each meal, every child receives a traditional Chinese New Year Lucky Charm. And the Emerald Coast, of course, has still got its regular buffet delights, just tons of them. Start out with any or all of 6 different soups. Enjoy dozens and dozens, probably at least
About 30, man.
30 dozen succulent entrees. New York strip made to order at the sizzling Asian grill. New seafood St. Jacques is fantastic. Oysters on the half shell, Alaskan stone crab, middle neck clams, jumbo shrimp scampi. If you still have room, sample their hand-carved prime rib, the new Thai specialties too. The buffet features a full salad bar, a new sushi bar, and fresh shrimp cocktail as well. No MSG, no cornstarch, no craps, no MSG headaches when you eat at the Emerald Coast, and they cook everything only in cholesterol-free oils too. And if you have any room at the end of this gigantic pig-out, they got a full dessert station waiting for you, featuring Belgian waffles, pies and cakes, pastries, ice cream with all your favorite toppings, even fresh fruit. So pig out with the whole gang at the Emerald Coast with 3 locations in South Florida. They're in Sunrise, Pine Island at 44th Street. They're on Collins Avenue, just north of 163rd Street in North Miami Beach, and at the intersection of Flamingo and Pembroke Roads in prestigious Pembroke Pines. Take the whole family, the Gatsa Mishpacha, or book your next business luncheon right now and let our good friends at the Emerald Coast cook up a storm for you. Takeout and delivery available too. Call 954-572-3822. 954-572-3822. You can't beat it with a stick. The world-famous Emerald Coast Chinese Buffet.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. WQAM.
Notice how she started to fill out her blouse. Wow, what a difference.
She was just one of my hoes. Then she started sporting the casabos, right? Now she my primary hoe.
They're talking about the new Hooter enhancement method developed by Boobmore Labs. It's quick, easy, and involves only minor surgery. It's all based on the simple inflation system. In only one visit, our Boobmore Lab technicians can insert the patented air bladder and filler nozzle, and you're on your way with bigger, better boobs.
My new Hooters are just fabulous. Depending on the occasion, I can adjust the air pressure to fit the type of garment I'm wearing. Sometimes you could be surprised at the outcome. I'm a stewardess, and on a trip to Miami, I forgot to release some of the pressure before we took off. My Hooters swelled to the size of basketballs when we reached cruising altitude. Boy, was I the most popular girl on the flight.
Hooter Enlargements by Boobmore Labs. Adjustable fun bags for any occasion. Call today for a free consultation.
You won't regret it. I'm on my way to a big Hollywood-type party right now, and with one quick stop at the Arco station, I'll be pumped up the cheap slut in just 1 minute.
1046 at 560 WQAM. How's your network coming down there? Well, I'm just thinking maybe there's a worm in your building. You think there could be a worm in a QM building?
Yeah, we got worms.
You got a runaway worm? Maybe that's what was crawling down Mo's forehead this morning. By the way, Shy is the new producer for Mo from New York. But don't buy a house, Shy. Don't unpack your bags yet. Not when you're working. He sounds like a pretty good guy, but
He's a good
that
guy.
old Shy.
That Shy.
But wow, you'll see him fly right out that door when he finally catches on to what he's doing with. Good luck to you, Shy. You'll need it.
Absolutely.
Anyway, meanwhile, while all this stuff is going on, which we have lots more, and the hysteria continues. Do you know we already got 112,000 hits on our website today?
I'll take your word for it.
Too bad you can't look at it, man. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Traces of ricin found in Senate mailroom. Bill Frist says the substance is likely sent with intent to harm. No Schmidt, Bill. Very perceptive on your part. I thought they were just sending it to give them something to do, occupy their time. 3 Senate office buildings are closed today. Bill Frist, the Senate Majority Leader, says the Capitol will be open for essential personnel only, even though the Senate is holding their meet today. All tours will be canceled till further notice. Senate office buildings will be closed, including the Hart, Dirksen, and Russell Senate office buildings. Tests on a white powdery substance found in the mailroom indicate the presence of ricin. U.S. Capitol Police Chief Terrence Gainer and Frist said last night did you see him last night breathlessly on there?
No.
You didn't see it?
No, I wasn't
on
watching
CNN?
it.
Well, shame on you. Oh, God. Well, at least it wasn't
anthrax.
Right. Frist says he considers the incident a terrorist activity. Now, I would say this to you, that terrorists like Al-Qaeda and so on, they don't use something like ricin because it's not contagious, first of all. And it's also, secondly, very difficult to, aerosolize.
Right.
So, to disperse in enormous amounts to be really dangerous. The kind of people that, like the Tim McVeighs are the kind that use, the domestic terrorists, use things like ricin. As opposed to maybe
anthrax.
And by the way, you ought to rest assured because look what a great job the government is doing on that
anthrax
investigation from right after 9/11. Aren't they doing a fabulous job?
Spectacular.
In fact, I hear they got a couple of people of interest in mind to stew might have Senate. I think their names were Justin and Janet. Right?
And
might as well blame them. We're blaming them for everything else. So here again is a little more about the TiVo thing before we get into the really meaty stuff. I'm just doing a little foreplay. If you're wondering why we're not taking any calls, it's because our phone, the whole internet thing at QAM is screwed up as usual. Because our engineering staff are a bunch of drooling idiots. Am I right?
That's what Jim Yelton said.
Yeah, well, not Jim. Well, we leave him out.
Periodically look up there and see if you see any dots pop on.
What does that mean?
That means it might come on.
Well, it's not now.
All right.
Well, wouldn't you know? It'll only come on. No, see, you're missing something. It'll only come on when your internet connection comes back. We've been through this before, okay?
They might not come on at the same time. One might
yes, they will.
First.
No, yours will come up first.
Okay.
Believe me, we've been like this morning before the show. George is saying, "Well, you should turn off your computer and do that, crawl around on the floor." I'm not doing any of that because I know it's on your ass end down there. Okay, Mr. Hotshot, I know that. We've been through it. How many times before?
About 30, man.
And every single time you're batting 1,000. Every single time it was the screwed up stuff at QAM. Everything here is working A-OK, fine as wine. Grow up, America. Anyway, when Justin Tinkerbell tore at Janet Jackson's leather outfit during a Sunday Super Bowl halftime show, TiVo users took notice. They took notice again and again, just like our people are doing on our website on neilrogers.com. Don't look too long, though. Don't look at it too long and hard. Using the digital video recorder to replay the event and to pause at the crucial moment in order to discern just what it was that Jackson had revealed to millions of Americans. But you don't have to do that. Just go to our website, and it's whatever part of it you want to see, it's there, big and full. TiVo said that particular halftime stunt was the most replayed moment, not only in all of the Super Bowl moments, but all TV moments ever that they've ever measured. TiVo said it used its technology to measure audience behavior among 20,000 users during the Super Bowl. The exercise revealed a 180% spike in viewership at the time, as Timberlake refers to it, of the wardrobe malfunction. One notable TiVo user apparently unimpressed with the performance of Timberlake and Jackson was FCC Chairman Michael Powell, who launched an investigation into the bare-breasted matter. Powell is so taken... Wait till you hear this. Are you sitting up straight and holding on to the sides of your seat?
Okay.
Powell is so taken with TiVo that he once referred to it as God's machine. You ready for that?
I'm speechless.
And I'm sure that he had millions of other Americans looking at it saying, "Oh, God, that's good. It's God's machine."
Oh, God.
This marks the third year that TiVo has released details of its second-by-second review of how Super Bowl viewers used the unit. Not only did users pause and replay the infamous portion of the halftime show more than any moment during the game, but they also did the same for some commercials as well. TiVo's two top commercials based on user behavior are both from Bud Light, a romantic sleigh ride interrupted by a flatulent horse, and a sharp-toothed dog demonstrating his unusual way of scoring a beer for his master. And, of course, well, we'll get to this story now. I've been teasing it the whole time, just like Dan Rather did on CBS Evening News last night for the entire newscast, teasing, CBS is going to respond, and MTV apologized, and yada, yada, yada. And there it was, over and over, and, of course, every time they went to a break, here's the tease again, which just gave them an excuse to show it 100 more times. Maybe not 100, maybe.
About 30, man.
FCC is investigating the Super Bowl show because censor and repress. That's the modus operandi of the right wing. Censor and repress, America. Whatever you want, we'll take it away from you. You like it, we won't let you see it. Censor and repress. This is from the Washington Post, so it might be true. The FCC launched an investigation into Sunday's controversial Super Bowl halftime show yesterday, and FCC Chairman Michael Powell telephoned Mel Karmazin, president of CBS parent Viacom Inc., to express his outrage, saying the entertainment giant should have known what was going to transpire during the show. He called Mel Karmazin to say, "You sumbitch, you." Ready for that? You bastard, you miserable, lousy piece of crap, you Jew. The FCC probe will encompass the entire halftime program, not just that one little, not just that, including the brief exposure of singer Janet Jackson's breast and the sexualized dance routine precipitating it, to determine if it violates indecency standards set in law and enforced by the FCC, man, as this government and America continue taking gigantic, enormous steps back into the Stone Age. Not the Stoned Age, the Stone Age. Oh, speaking of Stone Age.
Yeah.
We have another great story on our website today. Weed Watch, no child's urine left behind. Speaking of the Stone Age. Man. Oh, FCC checking wind direction. We got that one, too. I think it was the wind of that horse. That's what they're checking. They want to check the velocity and the philosophy and the aroma. The FCC, if indecency violations are found, each of Viacom's 200 owned and affiliate stations could face a penalty of up to $27,500. I bet you they're shaking in their boots. FCC officials said the agency may also pursue penalties against CBS and the individual performers, Jackson and Justin Tinkerbell. How do you like that? Now, what are they going to do to them? Fry them.
Yeah, okay, fine them.
The FCC announced its probe as NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue promised that the league would change its policies to ensure that future halftime shows are of far more appropriate quality for the Super Bowl game. Powell said the investigation will be thorough and swift. Oh, man, he's promising justice. That's right. And you know who he's going to go to for justice?
Don Corleone.
You got it. Or maybe Dave Justice. Then we can see Halle Berry's. Or Halle's Berries. I'm outraged at what I saw during halftime of the show of the Super Bowl. The FCC chairman said in a statement, yada, yada. We've read that a million times. The other FCC commissioners issued similar statements. In addition to the racy halftime show, some of the commercials shown during the game featured previews for violent movies and jokes employing scatological humor. Okay, you ready for that?
Oh, no.
A flatulent horse. Oh, no. I guess we forgot all about Howard Stern and Fart Man. Of course, that was on MTV. That's a cable channel.
Right.
I see.
I didn't know fart was scatological humor.
And we forgot about Britney just about stripping down to almost nothing. But that was also on MTV. See, luckily, the FCC, thank the Lord, doesn't regulate the Internet yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yet. So we can put whatever the hell we want on there. The only thing they regulate is kiddie porn, because that's not the FCC. That's the law, and they should. That's the law. Anything aside from that, they got no control over, including the unctuous Mr. Powell. We expressed our concerns to, now let's see, Joe Brown, the NFL's Vice President of Communications and Government Affairs, said the league had expressed its concerns to MTV, a Viacom subsidiary which produced the show for CBS. Well, screw him. He says, we applaud the FCC's investigation of the MTV-produced halftime. We and our fans were embarrassed by the entire show. Well, what does that mean? We and our fans? In other words, all the football fans were embarrassed by that? That must be why they're watching it over and over and over again and broke all the records at TiVo and on our website and probably even on the Fudge Report and everybody else that has a website because they're so embarrassed by it. They want to see if they look at it a whole bunch of times.
About 30, man.
About 30,000 times if the embarrassment factor rises or if anything else rises. You know what they say? The sun also rises.
Oh.
That's what Michael Jackson says. 4 minutes till 11 at 560. WQAM, we apologize, don't we, for spending this whole first hour. We're not done yet either.
No, all right.
Oh, man, I guess my psychic powers must have kicked in again today. I must have known that your equipment, that the whole networking was going to be screwed up. I think you got the worm down there.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be the easy, usual piece of cake that it is.
Cake.
Oh, and there's, speaking of Powell.
But I think the test really has...
There's that other lion sack of crap sellout. His daddy, Colin Powell, who's still... Oh, here's the maps. Remember, this is where they were. We know that they're there. And, of course, what's his name?
What's his name?
Ashcroft is still screaming and hollering. And Rumsfeld, and they're all screaming and hollering about those mobile vans, man. Look out. Actually, they're ice cream trucks. 10:57 at 560 WQAM. If you're thinking of buying a new car or truck, well, if you want to save a lot of cash, I urge you to visit Armstrong's Toyota of Homestead. Located on US 1, just 20 easy minutes south of the 836, Armstrong's Toyota of Homestead is worth the drive for you to save a lot of cash, thousands and thousands of dollars on those great new Toyotas. Check out these unbeatable prices. An 04 Corolla loaded including air that you own for just $12,990. An 04 Camry with air, automatic, and lots more, just $16,990. Need a truck? How about an 04 Toyota Tundra, the safest truck in America, from just $14,990. And when you buy your new vehicle at Armstrong's Toyota of Homestead, you get a free Sun Pass. And don't forget, these were the first dealer in the area to offer you free tires and batteries for life. General Manager David Rich and the staff are going to do whatever it takes. They'll stand on their head if that's necessary to put you in a new Toyota today. Experience the Armstrong Toyota of Homestead difference. They're locally owned and operated, and they're committed to 100% customer satisfaction. The service department is open late weeknights to late to make sure your service work is done and done right. Conveniently located on US 1 and 293rd Street in Homestead, just 20 easy minutes south of the 836. So if you're fed up to your ears of those mega dealers who overpromise and underdeliver, here's what you ought to do. Call our friend David Rich, the GM at Armstrong's Toyota of Homestead. Call him at 305-242-3247. 305-242-3247. Drive a little and save a whole lot on that brand new Toyota from Armstrong's Toyota of Homestead. He said. What just happened there?
This is 560.
My bad.
The radio's all yours now. QAM.
This is the most disgusting program. I urge everyone to complain to this station. Ooh, I need your love, John. Yes, you know it's true. I hope you need my love, John. Just $50 for you. Oh, hold me, touch me, use me, bust me. I need my share of love, John. 8 times a day. I love you every day, John. Just look straight at the blinds. I think this is my best side. Get a tight shot of my behind.
Rectum.
Oh, hold me, touch me, use me, bust me. I need my share of love, John. 8 times a day. 8 times a day is just a lowball average. 8 times a day is just enough to pay my bail. Ooh, I need your love, John. There's twice this week for you. I hope you need my love, John. My house payment is due. Oh, hold me, touch me, use me, bust me. I need my share of love, John. 8 times a day. All right. 8 times a day to teach my husband how to. 8 times a day. It's good to see you, Danny Quayle. Love me every day, John. You're always on my tail. Make me scream for pay, John, 'cause soon I'll be in jail. Oh, hold me, touch me, use me, bust me. I need my share of love, John. 8 times a day. 8 times a day. You turd. 8 times a day.
11:04 at 560 WQAM. I'm going to divert this for just a second or two. Can I do that?
Okay. Hey, how are your dots coming?
No dots.
Okay.
Why, is your internet connection back?
No.
I told you. Would you not listen to them?
Yeah.
Do not listen to them, okay? Believe me. Trust me when I tell you.
I'm asking you.
No dot.
Okay.
No dots and no mo. Anyway, I was starting to say before I was so rudely interrupted by technically incompetent people in South Florida. I got two things that really pissed me off and fired me up before we get back to that great column by Alessandra Stanley in the New York Times. It's so perfect. Anyway, the Daily Outrage by Matt Bivens, who writes for The Nation, one of my favorite publications. And this just pisses me off so big time, and nobody's talking about it. It's one of the great scandals in America as they continue gouging you, raping the public, keeping you diverted with your attention all fixated on Janet Jackson's breast while they stick their hand up into your wallet and up your ass. Matt writes, Public Citizen is calling for an investigation of Billy Tozen, the Republican congressman from Louisiana, who had a key role in writing the Medicare prescription drug law, and now that he's done with that, got a big thank you in the form of a sweet offer to lobby in Washington for the pharmaceutical industry. The compensation package, rumored to be somewhere between $1 million to $2.5 million a year, would be likely the largest compensation package on record for anyone at a trade association, Public Citizen says. Tozen hasn't yet said whether he'll accept it. He seems to have been given pause by the drumbeat of indignation that's risen at the idea. The record size of the drug industry contract and the fact that the offer became public less than 2 months after the drug industry scored a major victory with this legislation raises serious questions about whether Representative Tozen's actions were tainted, said Joan Claybrook, Public Citizen's president. While Representative Tozen was writing the bill, he put out the word that he was retiring from Congress and looking for new work. This doesn't pass the smell test, she said. Tozen is not the only politician who seems to be cashing in his chips with the drug industry. Tom Scully, the White House point person on the Medicare bill, recently quit government to go to work for law firms that represent pharmaceutical interests. So we have a situation where the lead administration person on the bill and the lead manager on the bill in the House are going back to work for the pharmaceutical companies, Nancy Pelosi says. I think it would be important to the American people to know when the negotiations for these positions began. And this Billy Tozen, by the way, he's also one of the leaders against the importation of prescription drugs from Canada, eh? Because they're dangerous. Because God only knows what's in those Canadian drugs. It's a 10th world country. Right. It might be filled with SARS.
Oh, we're getting commercials about that now, in case you haven't seen them up there. I guess you wouldn't.
Saying what? Well, now, why do you say that? Don't I get the Buffalo and Network affiliates? Yes?
I guess you do, but I don't know if they're specifically targeted to Florida people, because I only saw it once.
Saying what?
Saying that drugs that you get from overseas are dangerous poison, and if you eat them, you'll die.
Well, guess what? Canada ain't overseas last time I checked, unless they're talking about that big ocean that separates Canada from the U.S.
We're talking about other countries.
Right, which is also fallacious. But but he's leading the fight against the Canadian. They're putting all these people out of business. Because God forbid they should save the American public any money. God forbid they should interfere with the pharmaceutical companies raping the American public, just raping and just gouging, so that senior citizens have to choose 1 month between paying their rent and the next month maybe between being able to get their prescription drugs to stay alive, things like that. Why isn't there more outrage and screaming and hollering about that, just wailing and gnashing of teeth? Why, I'd like to know, you know? How come?
Why?
Exactly. So and I want to thank personally Janet Jackson and even Justin Tinkerbell, whom I despise like poison. I want to thank them both, because look what they've done for us.
Right.
Can you believe it?
Sure, just think if it had been a couple of attractive people.
424 votes on a poll in much less than an hour. I think it went up about 10:18. 424 votes. You want to hear how many hits we have on our website?
Oh, you'll have to tell me.
Take a look at your thing there.
Oh, look at that. This page
Don't you see any
displayed.
dots? If you ask me that again, you're going to start seeing dots and
you
stars.
You have to understand that they don't believe me when they come in here and they tell me that it's working. They won't take my word for it. They have to hear it
There's
from
nothing
you.
here. It will not come back here until your internet connection is back. Believe me, we've been through this a million times.
I know
a little something about this whole deal, this whole setup. I've been doing it a long time. 130,000 hits as of 11 o'clock this morning. You ready for that?
Okay.
Shocking. Amazing. Here's another one that you're going to like a lot before we get back to the important news of the day, which, of course, is Boobgate. Suit alleges Walmart locked janitors into stores. I'm sure you've seen this.
No.
You haven't seen this story?
No.
A civil rights suit filed against Walmart by Mexican immigrants has been expanded to include plaintiffs from Poland, Slovakia, and the Czech Republic, and to accuse Walmart of locking its janitors inside stores during their shifts. A lawyer for Walmart denied the allegations. The Walmart people are the El Anticristo and the Chupacabra and whatever else you can think of, and the Chalupa, too.
For years now.
Oh, guess who's going into Walmart? It's Blimpies. Did you see that?
Oh, well.
Have you seen that?
No.
Well, now, look at what you're learning. I'm a fountain of knowledge today.
Yeah.
Squirt, squirt. Monday's amendment to a suit filed November 10 in U.S. District Court in Newark, New Jersey, comes as a federal grand jury in Pennsylvania weighs evidence to determine whether America's biggest retailer will face criminal charges. We can only hope and pray, and the use of illegal immigrants to clean its stores. On October 23rd, INS agents raided Walmart stores across the country in a sweep that resulted in the arrest of hundreds of janitors on immigration charges. Among those arrested then were the 17 named plaintiffs in the civil suit, including 11 Mexican immigrants who were working in stores in New Jersey and Texas and made up the original plaintiffs, plus the 6 Eastern Europeans amended to the list of plaintiffs. All but one of the janitors named in the suit have been released from INS custody pending deportation hearings and remain in the U.S., including 9 in New Jersey, 2 in Texas, 1 in Alabama, 2 in Florida, and 2 in Virginia, said Gilberto Garcia, their immigration lawyer. Garcia said one janitor voluntarily returned to his native Czech Republic. Said, let me get the hell out of here. The suit alleges that the employees were locked in stores with warnings from managers not to use emergency fire exits for anything but a fire or they'd be fired. How do you like that? James Lindsay, lawyer for the plaintiffs, said he and other lawyers decided to re-interview their clients, then amend the suit after reading a report in the New York Times last month that contained a separate allegation that janitors were being locked in. The original suit claimed some workers were being forced to work 7 days, 70-hour weeks for $1,500 a month. Now let's see, figure that out. $1,500 a month is what, about $400 a week? Less.
Yes.
Let's say $400 a week, round it off. 70 hours into 400 is what?
You're asking me to do math?
About $5 an hour? Yeah, it comes out to about $5 an hour at Walmart. Being locked in, of course. David Murray, lawyer for attorney, said the allegations were absolutely incorrect. Absolutely incorrect is what he said. He said the concern for workers' rights was the reason the chain eliminated use of cleaning contractors in 80% of its stores. Murray acknowledged that the doors were kept locked, but insisted that a manager with a key was always present, just in case anybody had to, go running out into the parking lot screaming and yelling and carrying on like lunatics. Right. So there you go, Walmart and Billy Tozen. I throw those in because we need just a little bit of a variety. Now you can punch up a call real quick. QAM, hello. That's good enough. We're batting 1,000. Oh! That's 2 for 2. I told you. Man, thank God that my psychic powers they're scary. They really are. It's frightening.
I'm
But I got this enormous pile of stuff. This is like old times during those 7 months of phone call shows, man, which Duff hated like poison. You liked it.
Yeah.
You and me, and that was it. And our friend Lynn. Well, my friend Lynn. She wants your job.
I know.
It's 11:13. How's the poll coming? Better take a peek at that poll. The votes are pouring in. What's your take on Boobgate? Justin and Janet at the Super Bowl halftime show. Grow up, America, you boobs. 241, 55%, which of course is the correct answer. 241 out of 438 votes. It was totally contrived. I loved it, 64. I loved it. When can I see more? 47. It was shameful. The FCC should stick it to him. 38. It was totally contrived. I hated it. 35. I think it really was an accident. 8. And I haven't seen it. 5 out of 445 votes. 5 people say they haven't seen it, which means their TV's broke. 14 past 11 at 560 WQAM. I'll tell you, if you go to the Pizza Loft, I bet you Jeff Cohen's going to have a lot to say about that, because anything that has to do with perversion and boobies and stuff like that, that's right up his alley, Sally. He loves it. And you'll love the food at the Pizza Loft. You'll love the prices. You'll love the atmosphere, the friendly service. It's a really laid-back, great place where you can enjoy the best Italian goodies. Monday night at the Loft is lasagna night. Tuesday, like tonight, is eggplant night. You buy one of these dinners on these nights, get the second one for only $5. Every Wednesday, kids eat free with adults, and they can see Jeff's famous magic show. You ought to see his magician whip it out for him. Thursday is bike night at the Loft. Come on a motorcycle, buy one dinner, and get the second one for half price. They got it all. They got the world's best garlic rolls, 3 different kinds of pizza, every kind of pasta dish under the sun, everything cooked to order. No soggy, limp pasta at the Pizza Loft, I guarantee you that. They got calzones and super subs and seafood, veal, and lots more. At the Pizza Loft in Davie, where they got tons and tons of free parking, right in front. They're on University Drive between Griffin and 595, right beyond prestigious Pier 1 Imports, kitty corner where Sadie's Buffet used to be. Is that still there? Who the hell knows? And who cares? Pizza Loft. Anyway, for takeout, for delivery, call 954-916-8880. And don't forget, Jeff caters for as low as $5 per person for your next affair. 954-916-8880. Still going strong. The original Broward Pizza Loft in Davie.
We're Sports Radio 560 WQAM.
You call that a penis?
Absolutely.
Do you like boobs a lot? Yes, I like boobs a lot. Boobs a lot, boobs a lot. Gotta like boobs a lot. Really like boobs a lot. Gotta like boobs a lot. Boobs a lot, boobs a lot. Gotta like boobs a lot. Down in the locker room, just a B-boy. Beating down the locker room with all that noise. Singing, do you like boobs a lot? Gotta like boobs a lot. Boobs a lot, boobs a lot. Gotta like boobs a lot. Do you wear your jock a lot? Yes, I wear my jock a lot. Got to wear your jock a lot. Gotta wear your jock a lot. Jock a lot, jock a lot. Gotta wear your jock a lot. Got to wear your jock a lot. Gotta wear your jock a lot. Down on the football field. You never can tell what a heel can wheel, so you gotta wear your jock a lot. Gotta wear your jock a lot. Jock a lot, jock a lot. You gotta wear your jock a lot. If I had a flag along, if I had a flag along, if I had a long flag along, if I had a long flag along, if you like boobs a lot, tag along. Baby, bop, you boob a lot. Gotta like boobs a lot, boobs a lot, boobs a lot. Gotta like boobs a lot. They're big and round. They're all around. They're big and round. They're all around.
.21 at 560. It took Janet Jackson's teat to wake up America. How do you like that?
Yeah.
That's what it took. That's all we needed. We've been waiting for it for a long, long time. The American, the whole deal has been like dormant for a long time. And all of a sudden, it was like a reawakening. How's that phone coming, by the way? Anyway, here's some shocking news before we get to that article, which I really will. Drug could block SARS infection. This from the BBC, so it might actually be true, although Tony Blair doubts it. A body chemical that could wipe out the virus that causes SARS may have been found by researchers.
All right.
In theory, a drug based on the antibody could be available long before a vaccine could be produced. Antibodies are created by the body's immune system to launch attacks on foreign invaders such as bacteria. Experts from a Boston Cancer Institute looked through a library of human antibodies before they found one which worked against the SARS virus. Their findings, reported in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, are a further chapter in a remarkable worldwide scientific effort triggered by international concerns over SARS. How do you like that? But may not. It says the work to produce a vaccine is well underway. This may not be available for some time, and scientists remain keen to find a first-line treatment which could be given to unvaccinated patients exposed to the virus. And they're showing they got like pictures here of the antibodies target the SARS virus, and the antibodies look like green gummies. You ever see gummies?
Gummy bears?
Well, no, not gummy bears. Like
gummy worms?
Yeah, gummy worms, right. Gummy internet worms. So that's a little bit of excitement there. So in case we have SARS, you don't have to get all panicky again. I don't have to go into quarantine when I come back. And that's George Corso for you, man. A real rocket scientist. In fact, I say put his ass on the moon. Jim in Atlanta's got a very good point. I think he's got his thumb right on the problem there that you got.
Yeah.
Well, now, what is this? This is not another...
out of Miami and bring you the latest.
Southwood?
I don't know.
There's some kind of a situation at Southwood School in Miami. Did you see that? That was from WSVN. You better turn on WSVN right now, Channel 7.
I got it.
And pot it up.
Of this student's death, only confirming that the student died in the bathroom. Now, we can tell you that an ambulance was called out to the scene. Perhaps they were trying some type of rescue. That ambulance, though, was called off, which obviously means a very tragic ending to this situation. So at this time, Tom, just to recap, they are not saying who was involved, how old the student is, or how that student died, only confirming that that student died in the boys' bathroom.
Richard, some very concerned parents gathering there at this staging area, which school officials have set up. Have you gleaned any information into what they are telling these parents?
Right now, they're trying to tell them, first and foremost, to remain calm. What they're doing, as I said, as we zoom you back into the scene, they're telling them to head over to 161 Street and 80th Avenue. Now, you got to realize these parents are very emotional because their loved ones are inside this school at this time. And again, the school is on complete lockdown. That means no one can go in or out. But as to not hamper this investigation, there's only so much police can tell them. So what they're trying to do is keep them in this corralled area, and at this time, keep them calm.
Richard, I know you just arrived, but what about the safety of the young students inside that middle school? Have we heard anything about that? Are any of the other students in any kind of danger?
What we can tell you, and having spoken to Miami-Dade police, they are saying that this school is secure. Again, we keep mentioning the lockdown. And as you look around everywhere, all over this campus, you are seeing officials from Miami-Dade Police and also Dade County Public Schools. There are officers outside the school and also inside, telling us that all is calm inside and out. But
okay, well, that's enough for right now. We'll keep in touch from, that was WSVN.
We'll keep abreast of it.
A student, now that's so bad, man. I can't believe you said that. A student has been found dead on the campus of a Miami middle school, and police are investigating. Police say Southwood Middle School at 16301 Southwest 80th Avenue in Palmetto Bay in South Dade County is in lockdown mode. The incident apparently happened in the boys' bathroom, and you just heard they don't really know anything more at this point. Wow.
Yeah.
At any rate, so Jim in Atlanta says, just a thought on the technical problems George and WQAM is experiencing. Maybe if corporate would spend a few dollars on some engineers and quality equipment as opposed to cheaping out, there would be less problems. Well, Jim, you are
absolutely correct, sir.
He says it's apparent you don't have any issues in Canada because when it comes down to it, you don't cut those corners. That is correct. They built me a beautiful little studio here in my apartment. Everything is top grade, first class. It was put together by people who knew their stuff, who of course weren't from QAM except for Julio, who's long gone. And it's fabulous. It works every day, just like clockwork. In fact, even when we had the power outage, was it last week?
Okay.
I think it was a week ago today, wasn't it?
Something like that.
And I still have my battery pack here, my 30-minute backup, so that, you hear the ticking and we were able to do the whole thing. Didn't even never skipped a beat. How do you like that?
I like it a lot.
But, of course, when you're in a QM studio, not only have you got to combat the viral infections from the events and the filth and the mung and the gigantic chupacabras that are running around because they're so cheap they won't even hire an exterminator in there. That's what we need at QM is a freaking exterminator, if you catch my drift.
Oh, don't do that. Don't play that thing.
This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Don't play that thing.
Why not?
Because the audio vault just went down. You interrupted me because I was just about to say.
Yeah.
Don't go talking.
Yeah, but wasn't it more fun doing it that way?
Yeah, that was pretty exciting.
So is it just your audio vault or the whole building?
Oh, we don't know.
I see.
So I was going to say, before you interrupted me with that sweeper, don't go into the break yet.
No, but it was more fun that way.
Yeah, sure.
Because it kind of underlined the technical incompetence. People think that I embellish these things, that I'm making them up, that I'm just being, a hard ass, or we're just doing it for fun. It's crap, is what it is. It's technical incompetence at its worst. And, of course, when you've got absentee management all the time, when a general manager is either on vacation or hiding from everybody or crawling in his spider hole, whatever's going on, it's really kind of difficult. And, of course, when the middle-level management people are also hiding under their desks.
Hey, Josh is right there. So
like I said.
Possibly they can play the spots out of the control room, right, John?
Yeah.
Possibly. And
possibly, like if the audio vault in there is working, that might work out for us.
It's working
Since we're here to make some money and not to, illuminate the public, the Illuminati.
Or not.
Anyway, let me do the promo while he's checking that out.
Sure.
Join Kimba Bocamper broadcasting live, we hope today, although you never know on this station, from 4 to 7 at Dave & Buster's in Hollywood. Good luck, Kimba. You'll need it. The Marlins Caravan will be stopping by with players signing autographs 5 to 6 this afternoon. The World Series trophy will be on display, and Billy the Marlin will be there as well. You can throw like tomatoes and exit him.
Hey, now.
4 to 7 this afternoon at Dave & Buster's in Hollywood with Kimba Bocamper and the Marlins and the ganze Mischproche, yes?
Throw tomatoes at Billy the Marlin.
What?
That's all.
Forget about that. Let's give me
you're
no,
we don't have
for time now.
Yeah.
What?
Play a song. We're not going to be taking a break anytime soon.
So in other words, they haven't found if they're going to be able to play the spots from the other room?
They're scrambling, and they'll, of course, let us
So
know.
let's see. We have no phones working here on our Internet connection. We have no Internet period in the building. The audio vault, which has all of our commercials, which is what we're here for, is to make money so that Greg can go around and pretend to be a sports big shot. That ain't working. Other than that, everything is just fine.
Right. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh, we're fine.
Right. Okay, well, that gives me a chance to read this thing now.
Sure.
No, I don't want to hear Sarah. No, I mean, we're not going to do the break is what you're saying.
We'll do it eventually.
You mean like next Friday, maybe?
Maybe.
What? Unbelievable.
No guarantees, of course.
This is just phenomenal.
You call this big market radio?
Well said, honey. Well said. 514 votes in just over an hour on that poll. I bet you that'll really just stimulate your internal organs.
We're ready to go in the other room there, so you can.
Ready to go with what?
The break.
Oh.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Yeah. Neil's Potter?
Yeah, what?
That was the rejoin.
Well, I hate to break the news to you. See, one thing that goes on here is I continue saying, I don't want to pick on Josh, but I'll say on the intercom, I can't hear anything. So when the spots were playing, I heard nothing. If there was a rejoin, I heard nothing because it's coming from the other room.
Oh.
So evidently the pot isn't open in there. So I have no idea what's going on. And of course I'm saying on the intercom, I'm hearing nothing, and I do this all the time, and it's like the sounds of silence.
This station stands for nothing.
Polling. Numbers aren't growing. Howard Dean is going gush right. He had the lead and steadily his numbers now are dwindling. Could it be he has a Mia's wife? Supporters must be thinking, what was the doctor drinking? And he must have really bad eyesight.
Yes.
Oregon. Michigan. Howard Dean. Gush right. Connecticut. New York. Howard Dean. Gush right. Voting. Get those voters voting. Howard Dean is going Gush right. Edward Clark and Kerry look better than who he married. Optometrist is what the doctor needs. The hopeful next first lady should think twice before displaying her big foaming gums and horsey teeth. Pennsylvania. Ohio. Howard Dean. Gush right. California. D.C. Washington, D.C. Howard Dean. Gush right.
Oh! 11:35. Now, can we arrange that so the next break I can actually hear the spots, or is that like asking a little bit
we
too
got
much?
it back in this room now, but yes.
All right.
We isolated the problem and have rectified it.
I thought maybe the worm got in the audio vault, too. A lot of runaway worms at QAM, man. I think it's time to zip it up. 530 votes on our poll today. What's your take on Boobgate? Justin and Janet at the Super Bowl. Grow Up America, you boobs, 284, 53.5%. It was totally contrived. I loved it, 83. I loved it. When Can I See More? 63. It was totally contrived. I hated it, 43. Obviously, maricones. It was shameful. The FCC should stick it to them, 41. 7.7% of prudes. I haven't seen it, 8. And I think it really was an accident, 8. Any more on that horrendous story from the school, Southwood Middle School?
Back on Montel.
I see. A student was found dead on the campus of Southwood Middle School, 16301 Southwest 80th Avenue in Palmetto Bay in Dade County. And that's it. The police are there, and Channel 7 is hyperventilating, but we don't know any more yet. Here's a fax that says in Italy they show boobs for the last 30 years on TV. We love it. Viva la tete, it says. Oh, can we say that?
No.
No can say. Here's another fax that says, this is kind of interesting. It says, if you happen to visit the website for West Palm Beach's WPBF last night, you might have gotten a lovely welcome message, "Fuke you, asshole." Apparently someone at WPBF had focused a Skycam on a road construction sign in which somebody had put that message. The comical Skycam pictures were then followed by a mix of live screen caps, test patterns, and dead air. The above image is from WPBF's radar loop of an hour's worth of pictures. Isn't that great?
Excellent.
There you go. That's the message, "Fuke you, asshole." In West Palm. And of course, if you're dumb enough to go there anyway, I guess that's the appropriate message. Only kidding. Not. Wow. We're like way off. Now we're just, see, it was one thing with the phone. See, when you have one major technical disaster, it's one thing.
Well,
but as everything starts coming unglued there, one begins to wonder just what kind of a operation this is.
Sports.
Yeah. Although it is the 3rd, which means a week from today is payday. Hey, Clarence, just go in there and check out the paychecks, okay? Oh, which reminds me, I didn't even send you a talent sheet for January. Yeah, let's take care of the important things,
sure,
getting
go ahead.
paid.
You can fill it out now.
Yeah, I'll fill it out now while we're on the air. I'll do it during the next break while I'm sitting here wondering if we're actually on the air or not. There's nothing like sitting here in absolute silence.
Yeah.
And I know that the spots must be playing or you would have been like hyperventilating about something.
Correct.
And I hear nothing. And I'm screaming, hey, I can't hear anything. I hear absolutely nothing. And it just,
Well, we're under a lot of pressure down
Josh
here.
is very low key. He just kind of lays back. No problem.
No, not today. See, they've got 5 million people in both rooms over here today. So.
Well, they're sure getting a lot done. I'll tell you that. 4.5. Sure getting it done. Who's that? Fix It?
Yeah.
Well, fix this. In fact, let's get Greg fixed. I think that would be the best idea. I'm talking literally. Right there on the ear. Rusty scissors. That would be good. So let's, because I don't have time to read this again. It's not that long. I'll read it anyway. We'll push the break back a little bit. Because it's been like an hour and a half tease. Don't forget, go to neilrogers.com and you can see Janet's a booby. You can see Justin just like ripping that thing off over and over and over again. You can sit there for like hours and hours. It'll keep you off the streets, keep you off the toilet seat.
Play it backwards. He puts it back on.
You can play it backward, fast forward, slow-mo, no-mo, whatever you like. And the best part of it is every time he rips it off, a different booby pops out. Yeah, I think it's a stunt booby myself.
Piercing. It rotates.
I don't think it was for real. I think it was a stunt booby. After flash of flesh, CBS again is in denial, writes Alessandra Stanley in the New York Times. But this is so good, I don't want to do it right now. I want to do the break on time. This would be like a test commercial break. Kerry leads Bush by 7 points. Did you see that?
Yes.
Nationwide poll according to CNN.com, CNN, whoever, USA Today, Gallup, and Ed Schwartz. If the election were right now, Kerry pounds Bush by 7 points, and even Edwards beats him by a point. Even old John Edwards. South Carolina, if Edwards, and that's good news, because if Edwards gets beat by Kerry in South Carolina, he says he'll drop out and he'll support Kerry. If he wins, he'll keep us sticking it out a little bit.
You want the audio from Channel 6? They're talking about the school thing again.
Go ahead.
I don't know if they have anything new.
We can tell you, obviously, it's a Southwood Elementary School. You have a huge presence of police officers here on the scene. And, again, people are trying to get to the school, and they are being kept from doing so. The police officers trying to waylay their concerns. As far as an official bit of information has gone on inside the school, none of the police officers that we've been in contact with have been able to confirm anything here on the ground. So,
in other words, they don't know anything and cut that off, okay? Plus really crappy audio on Channel 6. Stick with Channel 7, okay? We'll go to heaven if you stick with Channel 7. Horrendous story. Okay, now we're going to do the break, which will give me a chance to fill out my talent sheet for January, which is the most important reason that I showed up today, and then a chance to read that great story for the New York Times by Alessandra Stanley. And I bet you by the time we come back, the phone will be fixed, too.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
This is Keith Jackson on special assignment at the MTV Video Music Awards, where hip-hop rules and teen pop divas permeate the landscape in their belly shirts and palazzo pants. I spent the day with Marshall Mathers, otherwise known as Reese's Pieces.
Look, old man, I told you a million times, M&M.
No thanks, young rap fella. I'm diabetic, but appreciative of the offer. So tell me, Ice, what's it like to want to kill your mother?
Right now, I'm just thinking about killing you.
You're a young, affable, Andy Williams-like character. Do you know any Christmas songs? Oh, hold up on an answer there, Skittles. It's Christina Mandy Aguilera Spears. I'd recognize her anywhere. Excuse me, Brandy. Mind if I lick your navel?
Ew! Get away from me, you sicko!
Oh, Nellie, you're one hot chili pepper. Be cool, dollface. Oops, you did it again. You're breaking my face all over the place. Oh, here comes a couple of large black men. I think they're Wang Chung Clan. Hey, Clan man, what's up? Ooh, they're pointing something at me. Yep, it looks like 6 heavy artillery machine guns. How'd they get those past security? Duck! This is Keith Jackson on special assignment at the MTV Video Music Award. Oops, they shot me again.
It's 14 till noon at 560 WQAM. So anyway, Alessandra Stanley writes in the New York Times today, after Flash of Flesh, CBS is again in denial. Wardrobe malfunction was the term Justin Tinkerbell used to explain why he bared Janet Jackson's breast at the end of their Super Bowl duet. Like erectile dysfunction, a term used in halftime advertisements for Cialis, it was a somewhat startling euphemism. If Monday morning quarterbacks are any guide, few people thought it was by accident that Mr. Timberlake's hand snaked across Ms. Jackson's torso as he reached the lyric, I'll have you naked by the end of this song, and tore off one bustier cup, releasing a breast partly obscured by a sunburst-shaped nipple brooch. The gesture seemed timed to more than the music. The very next commercial was a close-up of Ms. Jackson's cleavage and a gaudy promotion for next week's Grammy Awards on CBS. Ms. Jackson denies that the nudity was deliberate, saying that Mr. Tinkerbell was supposed to rip away only the top layer and leave a bit of red lace behind. And nobody really has any reason to believe CBS when the network insisted it didn't know the bodice ripping was in the works. That is not just because MTV produced a halftime show for CBS and both companies are owned by Viacom. One doesn't have to subscribe to conglomerate conspiracy theories to be suspicious. CBS has told so many howlers over the past 18 months that any claim to dignity and righteous indignation by this network is now open to snickering. CBS insisted there was no quid pro quo when it sent Jessica Lynch a letter suggesting that an exclusive interview with CBS News would be rewarded with other lucrative contracts within the Viacom empire. CBS insisted that its decision to cancel the miniseries The Reagans had nothing to do with their right-wing lobbying campaign that threatened a boycott of advertisers' products. And the network insisted that it didn't sweeten the deal with Michael Jackson to secure a 60 Minutes interview with him after his arrest last November, as the network was preparing a Michael Jackson entertainment special. Implausible deniability and the fungible walls between news and entertainment and between art and commerce exist at every major network, but like a high school student caught smoking pot by the principal, CBS can hardly wriggle free by arguing that everybody does it. The beauty of the Janet Jackson to-do is that it could be the one case in which CBS is telling the truth, and like the little network that cried wolf, nobody is listening. The chairman of the FCC, Michael Powell, was watching, however. He called the incident a classless, crass, and deplorable stunt and called for a thorough and swift FCC investigation. The NFL also took umbrage, huffily announcing it was unlikely to invite MTV to produce a halftime show anytime soon. Perhaps the league will turn to MTV's rival cable music station, VH1. That should work. VH1 is also owned by Viacom. Even trussed as she was in a shiny Matrix dominatrix outfit, Janet Jackson, 37, has never had much luck being taken seriously as a sex symbol, and it's unlikely that her Super Bowl surprise will be much help there. But if her aim was to grab all the attention, as Madonna did when she kissed Britney Spears at the MTV Video Music Awards, then she did herself proud. And if she wanted to distract attention from her older, more famous and now more infamous brother Michael, then she achieved even that for a moment. Her sudden flare of pre-Grammy attention and publicity came at a slight cost, Perhaps the one moment of honesty in that coldly choreographed tableau was when the cup came off and out-tumbled what looked like a normal middle-aged woman's breast instead of an idealized Playboy bunny implant. The NFL was apparently put off by much of the TV halftime show, not just Ms. Jackson's uninvited breast, and one can understand the league's confusion. Does anyone who loves the CBS hit Everybody Loves Raymond enjoy watching hip-hop singer Nelly repeatedly grab his crotch as he did during the halftime show? Viacom, like Gaul, is divided into at least 3 very different parts. But if the NFL was really so shocked and appalled, why didn't it flinch at the Cialis advertisement that promised men 36 hours of relief from impotence, then warned that if they should experience an erection for 4 hours straight, they should seek immediate medical care? On television, sincerity can be measured only by sacrifice. If the NFL really found the halftime show so objectionable, perhaps it should reconsider giving Super Bowl rights to the highest bidder and instead select the network that promises to adhere to the NFL's self-image of wholesome good fun. CBS could decide it can't risk another such risque assault on what it deliciously still refers to as its broadcast standards and recuse itself from carrying the Grammy Awards. A network's regret and remorse can be best judged by its willingness to lose ratings, and CBS so far has shown none.
Very good.
Beauty by Alessandra Stanley in today's New York Times.
Except for that part about mistaking her breast for a real one.
Well, no, it didn't say mistaking it. No, that's not what it said. That isn't what it said.
I must have missed it somehow.
It said out-tumbled what looked like a normal middle-aged woman's breast instead of an idealized Playboy bunny implant. In other words, it ain't no big thing, okay? Ain't no great thing, is what she's trying to say.
All right.
In other words, even though she's, thinks she fancies herself as a sex pot, it wasn't the fact so much that it was such a great-looking breast. It was that it was her and she's famous and out it popped and, like, all of these things.
Domino Forbiscum.
Right. So nice column in the Times. Let's take a look at how that poll is coming out. Are we making any progress down there? I know that's really... Is your internet connection back? No. And do we have any, see, because what I'm thinking is that maybe that worm got in there.
Yeah.
No, today is the day... Today is the big day for the worm.
No, this ain't a worm.
It's not a worm? What is it? Just the usual, the network is down?
Human worm.
I see. I didn't know that he had it in him. Fix it. I know it sure as hell wasn't, what's his name?
What's his name?
Your buddy. 596 votes on the poll. What's your take on Boobgate? Grow up, America, you boobs. 316, 53% say it's time to grow up and stop acting like a bunch of little children. Of course, those are the same people that are looking at it over and over again. It was totally contrived. I loved it, 95. I loved it. Where can I see more? 66. In fact, you can see lots more every day on our website. We are pledging as of today, since this is such a gigantic thing, even though Alessandra says it wasn't that gigantic. Every day we're going to have like naked people on there, famous people.
Right on.
Now we're going to leave that one there until everybody's like exhausted from it, till they've worn it out.
Then we'll freshen it up.
We'll milk it as much as we can. It was totally contrived. I hated it, 54. It was shameful. The FCC should stick it to them. 47, 7.8%. You go, Michael Powell. Stick it to them. It was disgusting. I haven't seen it, 10. And I think it was really an accident, 8 out of about 600 in an hour and a half. Aren't you shocked?
I'm shocked.
And amazed?
And numb.
Getting back to that poll, because I think I've exhausted all of my booby stuff.
Oh, no.
No, well, actually, this one's good. I like this story. Many of these are on our website today, neilrogers.com. Now, those of you who are spending hours and hours looking at that booby picture and at Justin ripping it, you might have somebody read you some of the good stories we have on there. You know, you might not be too interested, but you never know. Something might catch your fancy. Censors at the FCC checking wind direction. The propriety police are making an example of Bubba the Love Sponge. The same culture warriors who allowed the communications conglomerates to run over the ideal of the public trust are now making political hay over indecency. Rather than worry about health care or education, this election year, we're supposed to focus on steroids in sports, a manned flight to Mars, and naughty words on the radio. In stressful times, when weapons of mass destruction remain elusive, crusade against smut. And so the FCC last week slapped record-setting fines on offending radio and TV stations, and a congressional subcommittee opened hearings into broadcast indecency standards. Clear Channel was fined $755,000 for broadcasting various episodes of the raunchy Bubba on 4 stations in Florida, as well as for lousy bookkeeping. The FCC also fined San Francisco's KRON-TV $27,000 for accidentally exposing the genitals of a member of the cast of Puppetry of the Penis, visible for less than a second and profusely apologized for by the station. The Bush administration backed the indecency brigade, pressing to increase punishments on broadcasters, enabling the FCC to boost the maximum fine from $27,500 to $275,000 per incident. Will a tenfold increase in the fine solve the problem of shock jocks? Will a slap on the wrist of the purveyors of Bubba the Love Sponge elevate the culture? No, and it's as dangerous as ever to let the government regulate program content. This latest round of the culture wars began when some in Congress became upset that the FCC decided not to fine NBC for airing an expletive uttered by U2 lead singer Bono during 2003's Golden Globe show. Under fire from constituents on the right, FCC Chairman Michael Powell, Colin's son, has asked the commission to overturn that decision. Fine him! Get him! Stick it to him! Ah! Marjorie Hines, head of the Free Expression Policy Project, a left-of-center think tank on artistic and intellectual freedom, said that while the current indecency dust-up is a great distraction, it doesn't accomplish anything. This is an issue that does come up in election years that politicians think is effective for demagogy. That is a mistake, according to Elliot Minkberg, legal director of the liberal advocacy group People for the American Way. We need to look at the standard for indecency and how it relates to other media like cable in a comprehensive way, rather than do hit-and-run work in this area, he said. That is, consider the multifaceted media world as it is today, not as it was when George Carlin spoke the famous 7 dirty words 8 million years ago. The FCC complains that Bubba seeks to pander to, titillate, and shock listeners. Personally, I find Fear Factor equally obscene, titillating, and pandering to base human instinct in prime time on network TV. It's 2004. South Park has been on the air for 8 years. The fuss over Howard Stern is a faded memory. The media universe has changed radically. Pay cable, the internet, and shock radio have altered the landscape, and the government's interpreting the problem awfully narrowly. Haven't we learned that prohibition doesn't work? That there will always be a flood of mindless, perverse junk floating through the pop culture, along with the worldly, artistically valid, socially redeeming junk? It doesn't matter to the FCC if the material in question has artistic merit. Carlin's satirical monologue was censored under the vague, patently offensive definition. Similarly, in 2001, the FCC fined nonprofit KBOO in Oregon for playing feminist poet Sarah Jones' Your Revolution, a song making fun of misogynist rap singers. The agency reversed itself on a Jones case this year in response to a lawsuit. The FCC also reversed itself regarding a clean version of Eminem's Real Slim Shady. The agency has trouble keeping up with its own shifting line on indecency. This goes on, well, a little bit more. And the entire story's on our website. But we got to play them spots, don't we? That's the important part. 11:57 at 560 QAM.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
I am Frau Ileana Ross-Leitman, and I like scrubbing my smelly gorilla ass with soap made from jewels and listening to the Neil Roque Comunista Hour.
Wait, that's up.
Yep. All right.
Hey guys, you wanna cheer up? Have Britney sit on your face. Make that old acne clear up when Britney sits on your face. Forget about your wife or girlfriend now. Kneel and say grace. Better shave off that beard and stash their aches. Pick up the pace. You're really gonna love it when Britney sits on your face.
All right.
Imagine the view above it when Britney sits on your face. Bent over, it looks like a frown when Britney starts sitting down.
Rectum.
Britney sits on your face. Yeah, Britney sits on your face. Imagine Britney Spears leaving her clothes all over your floor. Knowing in just a minute or two you're gonna score.
Incredible.
Wipe off that dinty beef stew before Britney sits on your face. Careful not to bite or chew when Britney sits on your face. Stop dreaming and clean up your place, 'cause she wants a brand new face. In your dreams.
It's 12:01, boy. I like the abrupt way those always end.
Yes.
So we got the phones back. In fact, listen to this. All right. I feel a little bit more secure now. Okay, it's like Linus with a security blanket. I think maybe Tuesday will be Chaos Day. Last Tuesday, the power was out here, and it was on this end. But, of course, that's not the studio. That was just the area
Yeah, we'll just plan for it, promote it.
Every Tuesday we'll have like some chaos, which at QAM you don't really have to do a lot of planning because generally it happens anyway. Although it's usually Monday.
Right.
It's usually Monday after all the children are in there playing with our studio, and of course Duff and Clarence. Oh, nobody's supposed to be doing that. Yeah, right. Talk about impotent, man. See Alice. That's the one word I have for Duff and Clarence. See Alice.
Huh?
And even that won't help. Boy, you talk about a couple of limp guys. Rick says, I just voted on your poll. I can't believe all the uproar over a breast, boob, titty, or whatever you want to call it. Everybody needs to grow up and stop acting like a child who's just swiped his father's Playboy magazine and seen a boobie for the first time. If women can breastfeed in public, then what the hell is the big deal? What?
No, they can't.
You haven't got to the end of this yet.
Okay.
He's Canadian, eh? Or at least he wants to be. He said, at least she had a nipple ring covering most of it. Even my Canadian professors are laughing at this, see? Tell Vancouver to make some room. I'm coming to stay, says Rick. Can't breastfeed in America in public, or they're going to throw your ass and arrest you in jail. Okay, now don't interrupt because I want to finish this story, because I realize that the rest of this, all the pieces are starting to fit together now, okay? You'll understand why Michael Powell is so indignant now and about the timing of this.
All ears.
This is the rest of the story that I was starting to read before we were so rudely interrupted by commercials, by Joanne Ostrow. She says, few will mourn if a grotesque call-in radio show such as Bubba the Love Sponge is told to clean it up. But as Hines said, giving any government agency unbridled power to censor whatever it deems patently offensive or indecent, depending on the political climate, is a dangerous proposition. The hearings, titled Can You Say That on TV? An examination of the FCC's enforcement with respect to broadcast indecency, are a convenient platform for L. Brent Bozell III, president of the right-wing advocacy group Parents Television Council. He expressed displeasure that until last week, the FCC had never fined a TV station for indecency. See how the pieces starting to fit together now?
Uh-huh.
What constitutes indecency and how does it differ from obscenity? You know it when you see it or hear it on broadcast TV and radio. What you see on cable and the internet doesn't count. Under FCC rules and federal law, radio stations and over-the-air TV channels cannot air obscene material at any time and cannot air indecent material between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. The FCC defines as obscene any material that describes sexual conduct in a patently offensive way and lacking serious literary, artistic, political, or scientific value. Indecency isn't as bad as obscenity, but it still makes references to sex or excretions. Hines, a lawyer and author who has written extensively on the issue, notes the FCC is unique among government agencies in that it has the power to censor talk shows, political dialogue, and artistic endeavors on radio and television if it finds them too raunchy. But the zealousness with which it performs this job tends to vary with the political winds. The winds today are decidedly censorial. At the start of last week's hearing, Upton said the point is protecting children, adding it has nothing to do with censorship, nor things outside the scope of the public airwaves. That unsolicited denial tells you everything you need to know. It can't help but be about censorship. It's also about politics. There you go. Michael Powell seizing upon this opportunity to rattle the spear of decency and Christianity and goodness for all the world to laugh at. I mean to see. And,
these are important things.
Admire. Right. Okay, now let's get that phone going, baby. All of this stuff. I've been rambling on here for too long, excruciating hours, and now we got phone contact with the outside world. Look at that phone, man.
Yeah.
It is smoking.
Look at that.
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Look at that. Didn't take long. QAM, hello.
Yes, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing today, sir?
Pretty good.
Okay, I'm sorry, just to you in. I don't know if you mentioned or you had a chance to read today's column, Paul Krugman.
What column? Paul Krugman?
On New York Times.
It's on our website. Not only did I read it, it's on our website.
I have to check that, but I think that this guy really knows what he's talking about, huh?
Yes, he does.
And, that's the only thing, the only reason I called you. So,
thanks for the, we're way ahead of you, man. Thank you. We're on top of it, baby. We're on top of it. Even between looking at those pictures over and over again, I saw Paul Krugman, we almost always put his columns on our website because he's got his thumb on it, man. He knows his crap. He knows a faker and a liar when he sees one. WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello.
Justin and Janet, Janet and Justin.
WQAM, hello.
Yeah, I just like to say I'm one of those perverts that have it on tape, and I am watching it over and over again. And I gotta say, I'm not really that impressed. I've seen much better down at the local strip joints.
Exactly. Pretty lame.
Yeah, and
pretty saggy, if you ask me.
Yeah, it really was.
Looks like that silicone's going to start oozing out any minute.
Yeah, you think for someone who has all those great surgeons that she has that have come out,
She must be using the same surgeon on her. She must be using the same surgeon on her boobs that Michael's using on his nose.
Exactly.
Good luck to you, Pally.
Thanks.
Keep it up. Send that guy some Cialis, okay? Because he's got to keep it up all day.
Okay.
He's working on it. Wasn't that a great line about the Cialis spot and about see your doctor immediately if you have an erection for more than 4 consecutive hours? Oh, brother. What a bunch of phony hypocrites, man. That's where it's at. Sex sells. Everybody knows that. And here's Michael Powell running around. Oh, this is disgusting. And Paul Taglia boo-boo. Yeah, thank God in Dallas they didn't become famous because of them cheerleaders, because of Debbie does Dallas and Deerfield and Delray and Dubuque and Detroit. Actually, it was Deshauna that does Detroit. Debbie, she ain't going there. And I don't blame her. Although Pudge Rodriguez is going there. Let's hear it. Oh! Good move. I hope there's another one. Like Kerry said, don't let the door hit you in your big fat ass.
Rectum.
On the way out of town, Pudge. They send Pudge packing to Detroit. A perfect match. I hope he breaks his leg in the second game of the season. He's out for like 3 months, and by the time he comes back, the Tigers are already like 25 games behind, maybe even...
About 30, man.
Yeah. That's what we feel for you, Pudge. Backstabber. Oh, speaking of the Marlins... Join Kimba Beaucamper live today, 4 to 7 at Dave & Buster's in Hollywood. The Marlins Caravan will be stopping by with players signing autographs 5 to 6. The World Series trophy will be on display. Maybe they'll let you rub it a little bit. Ooh. And Billy the Marlin will be there, too. Maybe he'll let you rub it. That's 4 to 7 this afternoon at Dave & Buster's in Hollywood. Got it?
Got it.
You're going to be there, right?
Oh, yeah.
I am.
Josh is going to be there, like I said. He's a jock sniffer. QAM.
Hello, Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing today?
Sensational.
You know, it's kind of ridiculous and hypocritical. With all the gratuitous violence they have on TV, it's just ridiculous that they have to spend all of the time, money, and effort over one booby.
Mm-hmm.
And it just even got me worse yesterday because they had, on Talk of the Nation on NPR, they were people were calling in, and they had this one guy who said, we had to hide our children's eyes. We were in a church group, and they should find them up the max. And then they had this other woman... And we had this other woman call in, and she says, I'd rather my children see something like that than the violence you see on TV. And what we do, you know, it's just a matter how far this country is split apart, and it's just ridiculous. And like you say, all of these people laugh. I took some girls from Sweden today back to the airport in my cab, and these girls were laughing that we're thinking about one boob and that they're spending all of this time and money and effort. And when they say, when we were young, all our families went to the beach together and when summertime came and we didn't wear any clothes at all.
Right.
It's just ridiculous how far behind the rest of the world we really are.
Well, John Ashcroft is proud, I'll guarantee you that. He's getting ready to put his that sheet over the entire TV screen so they clean it up.
I don't know. You got any room across the border, Uncle Neil?
We'll sneak you in. Have a great day.
Bye.
Yeah, John Ashcroft, your Attorney General, man, he's sneaking the sheets over the naked statue boobies, so why should come any surprise? When you got a boobie for president, why should they be surprised that people should fear boobies, right? Naked or otherwise. Putting sheets over the boobs on a statue.
You could put an eye out with one of those.
Oh, my God, it is absolutely, I mean, see, this is what you're dealing with in a country where 90% of the people have never really been any place. You go to Europe and any city over like 10 people has got all the, like in Rome, all the statues and all the old artwork and the boobies and the penises and all the body parts, because guess what? That's what people look like. Oh, no. How the hell are they, man? And like a stone's throw from the frickin' Vatican, no less. I'm surprised the Pope doesn't have his people out there covering up all them naked statues all over Rome. That'll keep him busy. Keep him away from all them altar boys and the Swiss Guard. But like I've told you for a long time, this is what the government does. The government likes to keep people, the American public are treated like a bunch of little children. And the government has to keep injecting itself into your own personal choices, whether it's about, a woman's body or whatever it is. You can't do this and you can't do that and don't do this and don't. And like I've told you also for years, DNH, do no harm. As long as you don't mess with children or harm anybody else, that's as far as it should go. That's the law, man. That's it. Anything else, mind your own business. You got a joint over there, too stinking bad. Whatever it is. Enough with the bullcrap. All these important things going on in the world, and you got a bunch of goody two-shoes, supposed religionists, who are all, by the way, a bunch of phony grave robbers, who are all a bunch of perverts behind the scenes, behind closed doors. They're doing anything that moves, but they're pointing at you and saying self-righteously, don't you dare do that because that's going to bring down the morality of our country.
Yeah. Out of touch liberal.
I'm just thinking about Penisgate. I'm thinking about how outrageous and unacceptable that was.
Right.
To think that the president actually went through the impeachment proceeding because of because lying about a couple of blowjobs.
Right.
about something that wasn't anybody else's damn business.
This is a bunch of hooey.
Amen. Because of a stain on a blue dress from some slut that took her presidential knee pads to Washington. And then, of course, the media made her into like a celebrity, into a fat, tubby piece of crap celebrity. Oh, we have to feel so sorry for Monica. Right. I'm sure that he just propped her head up there. He probably had like 2 assistants there, propping her head up in his crotch. Right? Forcing her into that squat position.
They must have been very strong assistants if they were propping her up.
Especially a tub of crap like her. 12 minutes past noon. I don't want to get excited and all bent out of shape now because it's not going to change America. But I think actually that this incident, I think this is like stirred something. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think it's brought the American public to their attention to something that they were like, just take it for granted. Wake up and sniff the pansies and the daffodils, man. You got a bunch of Nazis who want to decide everything you can see and what life should be all about. America wants to see hot-looking naked people, which leaves her out, but at least that's a start, okay? We'll start out with mediocre, plastic-looking people, and then we'll move on from there.
Brittany's next.
Brittany will be next. On the Grammys next Sunday. Wouldn't that be great?
You know, I understand. Yeah.
Oh, I can just see it now. Man.
Christina's all pierced up.
Brittany just has a tearaway, the whole outfit. Remember she had the tearaway outfit that one year? Was it last year? Well, this time the whole thing just pops away. And there she is, just naked as a jaybird. Get a 400 share, easy.
Squirt, squirt.
Pop those TiVos will fry right out. 12:13 at 560 WQAM. If your old mattress is burned out, God only knows what you've been doing on there, especially these last couple of days. Here's the answer. Pick up that phone and call 1-800-MATTRESS. That's what I've been doing for years. Even George and Boca Brian and Miguel and Fat Boy, anybody that works at the station that's got more than 50 cents, they're calling Dial a Mattress to guarantee a great night's sleep for years to come because they know that there are no phony sales, no bait and switch, just everyday unbeatable rock bottom prices that you can't beat on the top mattresses in the world, like Sealy and Serta, Simmons, King Coil, Tempur-Pedic, Stearns, and Foster. You can rest easy and enjoy a great night's sleep by calling 1-800-MATTRESS right now. Don't get sucked in by those President's Day sales that you're betting in department stores put on you, where they double the price and then they say, hey, we're going to give you 50% off. It's a ripoff. And only Dial a Mattress lets you choose that 2-hour delivery window that meets your schedule any day, 7 days a week from 8 in the a.m. till 10 p.m. So, if you want to be smart like we are, call Dial a Mattress. If you want to get ripped off, head to your betting and department store right now. Just one easy call will do it for you. 1-800-MATTRESS. 1-800-MATTRESS or online it's mattress.com for Dial a Mattress, the easy, the only smart way to get you a great night's sleep for years to come.
Live and local. This is 560.
The radio's all yours now.
QAM.
Linda trips a fat pig. Linda trips a fat pig. Linda trips a fat pig.
She looks like a guy. She's 7 feet wide. She makes me want to push right.
But now Linda trips a fat pig.
A chick with a dick. With 2 smelly chins. A bloated and ugly fat dick.
But now Linda.
She wants the media to stop abusing and ripping her an ass with songs like this. But we find that amusing from that self-promoting ugly bitch. How much were you paid?
How much were you paid?
For Monica's Tape.
For Monica's Tape.
By Richard C. Mellenskate.
That's what Linda trips a fat pig.
I wish you all would leave me alone. I'm just like every one of you out there. I'm a human being, damn it. Leave me alone, don't bother me.
Just who do you think you're fooling? You that obnoxious, ugly, smelly pig. You're really Matt Drudge in a dress.
Linda trips a fat pig.
12:19 at 560 WQAM. A 14-year-old student was found dead today on a campus of a middle school in Palmetto Bay, which since has been locked down. Dade police said the boy's death at Southwood Middle School, 16301 Southwest 80th Avenue, appeared to be unnatural, but refused to release further details. Dade County school spokesman John Schuster said the school's 1,700-plus students have been locked in their classes. Anything new on 6 or 7 or 4 or 5?
I mean, 7's got it on now, but
it is 3:05.
Not saying anything new. At least they weren't during the break.
Sergeant Pete Andrew also said students were locked in their classrooms but not believed to be in any danger. Dozens of worried parents were gathering outside the school, which opened in 1976. A police spokesman said 2 students found the victim in the boys' bathroom between 8:30 and 8:45 this morning. Notified school officials will call the police. Police did say the school was placed on lockdown to preserve the integrity of the death investigation. Initial reports were that the boy had been stabbed, but police refused to comment or provide a cause of death. Southwood Middle is an A school and was the first magnet school in Dade County. It specializes in the visual and performing arts, according to the school's website. Senator John Kerry, the front-runner among Democrats vying for their party's presidential nomination, leads President Bush in a head-to-head matchup, according to the CNN USA Today Gallup poll. Now, this poll, by the way, was taken in the days after the New Hampshire primary, so it's not like as of right this second.
Okay.
When the likely voters were asked for their choice from a Bush versus Kerry race, 53% of those said they would vote for John Kerry, and 46% favored W. When that same group was asked to pick between John Edwards and Bush, the numbers were 49% for Bush and 48% for Edwards. With a Bush-Clark face-off, Bush was favored by 50% of those surveyed, and Clark 47%. I think that's a mistake. You don't think CNN would make a mistake? Either this is a mistake or they made a mistake last night, because last night they showed Edwards was at a Bush 49-48. Well, whatever. Howard Dean, the one-time frontrunner in the Democratic field, had a poorer showing against Bush, losing 52 to 45% to W. That's Howard Dean. Well, he's upset about it. He's a little pissed off about it, but he'll calm down. He's not going to win any of the primaries today, by the way. Not even close.
No.
In fact, I don't think he'll come in even like a decent third in any of them. I just mentioned that in passing. Investigators who searched Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch seized computers, legal documents, videotapes, and a note and a letter found on the singer's bedroom nightstand, according to court documents released yesterday. The list of items taken during the November 18 search of Jackson's home in northern Santa Barbara County did not describe them in detail, and there was no indication of what the written material said. The records note that a locksmith had opened the master bedroom and that the keys were ultimately found in a safe. Items found in the master bedroom and bathroom included a laptop computer found inside a locked closet, a digital camera found by a sink, and miscellaneous papers. Legal paperwork was found in an area described as the master bedroom den, but it was unclear whether it was behind a locked door. Documents were also taken from an area described as the study/library. Many of the items were taken from the master bedroom, including an envelope found in a briefcase, several computers, papers, and a calendar found in the closet. Items found in the room's nightstand include a letter and a note. Magazines were also seized, but only one, the financial publication The Robb Report, was mentioned by name. Don't you find that a little bit peculiar that Michael Jackson would be having to read The Robb Report?
Why? Isn't that where all the expensive tchotchkes are?
Yeah, and generally the kind of people who read The Robb Report are people who are like wannabes, you know.
Yeah, well.
The documents were released to attorneys representing several news organizations that have asked Superior Court Judge Rodney Melville, no relation to Herman, to unseal the search warrant, a list of items seized in the affidavit filed by detectives seeking the warrant. The judge ruled last month that most of the records would not be unsealed, but agreed to release some of the documents after heavy editing. The list released yesterday was so extensively edited that reference to several items were cut out completely. When in doubt, black it out. The records show that Judge Thomas Adams signed the search warrant at 5:30 p.m. the evening before. They include a transcript of a telephone conversation between the judge and investigators at Neverland, in which Adams agreed to amend the warrant so a storage locker could be searched. Sheriff's Department Sergeant Steve Robel told the judge the investigators were looking for items including letters, invoices, canceled checks, computers, and computer records. Canceled checks. Remember the canceled checks that somebody we all know was talking about 10 years ago? Yep. About all the checks that supposedly he had written to shut up the parents of...
That damn faggot. I can't stand him.
Right. You go, LaToya. When's LaToya coming on there and whipping it out?
She already did.
Not on CBS.
No, magazines.
Now, Janet Jackson already did too on Rolling Stone.
She didn't show no nipple.
No, she had her hands over her breast, but she was naked as a jaybird.
It was some other guy's hands.
568, it was Justin. They wouldn't turn him on. He's waiting for Lance to come back. 567-0560, pound 560 from the old cockamoon on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
You know, I still say that this pinhead Powell, he's the one that his father told him to say all of that. he's the one who sold us to Clear Channel and everybody else to buy every station
Right.
in the world.
That is correct.
And he's just posturing on his father's his beliefs and everything. He doesn't speak for himself, you know. And I'm really sad to see him on there just talking nonsense about the breast and all of this and the FCC.
Maybe John Ashcroft told him to say it.
Yeah, it's somebody.
Can you imagine? I mean, if John Ashcroft is covering up breast on a statue, you can only imagine his reaction to what he must have seen on Sunday.
Really, you know, and it's just a shame that he sold us all out, you know, from variety of having anything to do with local stations and anything else.
Yeah.
Another thing, and I'm so glad not to hear anything about Jennifer Lopez and Ben Afflicted. You know, it's so nice not to even see them anymore.
Yeah.
On
good point.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, who the hell would want to hear about that whole business anymore, you know?
Please.
I mean, aren't we like burned out on the J-Lo and this?
Yeah, you're right. Never thought I'd appreciate Justin.
I picked up the phone in my hotel. A voice said it's over, go to hell.
So maybe we haven't heard the very last, okay? That was just a little tease. Well, I mean, we promise it's the last one that we're going to play until the next one. 26 past noon at 560 WQAM. Don't forget, go to neilrogers.com. Lots of flesh, lots of boobies, lots of Justin just ripping that thing back, pulling it back, yanking it, twisting it, heaving it, whatever. And he still makes me sick. Anyway, if you're fat, if you're like one of those porkers out there, there's so many of us, man, fighting this fat, it's disgusting. Everybody and their brother's got another diet book they want to sell you. Balance for Life doesn't have any books to sell, and you don't have to count any calories or figure out any formula or count carbohydrates. They do all the cooking, all the selecting, all the shopping for you, and they prepare fantastic, delicious meals that are going to keep you satisfied and happy all day long, that are scientifically designed, according to the glycemic index, to make sure you lose that weight. They deliver to your door a little black sack every morning. In your black sack, there are 3 delicious meals, 2 delicious snacks, and a 16-ounce bottle of water's in there, too, to get you started. Plenty of food, fresh, good stuff in there to keep you full all day long, so you won't be cheating and eating in between meals. You got 5 feedings every day, for crying out loud. The lovely Katrina's lost about 20 pounds in Balance for Life, and you can do the same and even more if you stick with the program. They make it so easy that just about anybody can do it, except, of course, the beast, because he's a pig. So call Balance for Life right now and start watching the weight drop on that scale day after day after day. Just stick with the program. They let you choose between 2 choices for each meal every day that you're on a program. They're the only ones that do that. In fact, you fill out a menu once a week, and that's all you have to figure. Call Balance for Life today and get started right away and get yourself back into some real-size clothing and extend your lifespan. Call Balance for Life at 954-568-3229. That's 954-568-3229, or get more information on their website at balanceforlife.com.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The medications don't work. I've been here for 7 years. Nothing works here. I hate this place. Nothing works here. The medications don't work. I've been here for 7 years. I hate this place. Nothing works here.
Absolutely. I picked up the phone in my hotel. A voice said it's over, go to hell. And I was so damn relieved I just laughed out loud.
Sick of celebrity poker. Rather make love to Al Roker. Live on the Today Show in front of a big crowd.
Perfect by side of my life.
I'll never be Ben's wife.
It's really over, finally done. Now go away. Threw my Red Sox hat away.
I think Ben and Matt are gay.
All I really wanted was a lap dance. Anyway,
you can forget it.
Now Jenny's back on the block and I can get away.
Yeah, get away.
Shut up! Run!
Leave me alone.
It's 12:33. You won't hear them no more, will you? Yeah, they'll be back. Now, what is this thing you faxed me about the Pants on Fire tour through Southwest
That's
Florida?
a little hard to read, but nevertheless, Ben, formerly of Ben & Jerry's, apparently has taken a big statue or a paper mache or a balloon or something of El Presidente.
Right.
And it's going to be in South Florida there.
Local peace and social justice activists have joined together with Pants on Fire organizers to bring the traveling statue of George W. Bush, shown with his pants on fire as in liar, liar. The people involved locally are not members of any special organization and don't represent any such organization. We're simply a group of concerned citizens. We will tow the statue on its trailer around Southwest Florida for the next few evenings. While making these allegations against George W. Bush is protected by our First Amendment right to free speech, we present the following statements as evidence that Mr. Bush represented facts, yada, yada, killed over 500 American soldiers, which you didn't fax me the rest of this, but that's okay because there's 4 pages. I don't want them.
I didn't think so.
Okay. So at any rate, they're going to be all around South Florida. Over there on the West Coast, keep your nation. We're simply a group of concerned citizens. We will tow the statue on its trailer around Southwest Florida for the next few evenings. While making these allegations against George W. Bush is protected by our First Amendment right to free speech, we present the following statements as evidence that we allocate that money to the after-school programs that have been cut, to drug prevention programs, and to full-time substance abuse counselors in schools. A study published last April by the Journal of School Health found that drug testing had no effect on reducing drug use among middle and high school students. The DPA notes that only 5% of schools have drug testing policies, making it highly unlikely that testing could have played any substantial role in the decline of drug use among teens. Meanwhile, even as the president credits drug testing for a decline in drug use, his drug czar, I'm getting choked up about it, his drug czar, John Walters, head of the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy, which is also taking credit, calling the drop a byproduct of a $150 million anti-drug media campaign. Fewer teens, and by the way, the drug reformers say that drop 11% is exaggerated to begin with. Fewer teens are using drugs because of the deliberate and serious message they've received about the dangers of drugs from their parents, leaders, and prevention efforts like our media campaign, Walters said in a December ONDCP press release. Unfortunately, a study released January 19 by the National Institute on Drug Abuse directly contradicts Walters' claim. According to a 4-year NIDA Commission study conducted by the Annenberg School of Communication at the University of Pennsylvania, there is little evidence of direct favorable effects on youth by media campaigns. Not that the NIDA study is likely to end the much-criticized ad campaign. Instead, it may signal the end of independent evaluation. According to the DRC Net, the ONDCP, following all these initials, has successfully lobbied to end funding for outside analyses of the media campaign, instead assigning that job to its campaign cohorts, the Partnership for a Drug-Free America. And then it talks about how CBS wouldn't allow the MoveOn.org spots on the Super Bowl, but they did take the ads from the White House about drugs. According to recent polls, 72% of Americans favor marijuana decriminalization. Let me read that sentence again. According to recent polls, 72% of Americans favor marijuana decriminalization, Normal's Chris Crane noted in a press release, so the ONDCP's one-sided ad must be considered an issue ad and subject to the network's policy. On January 23rd, the DRC Net reported that after reviewing the issue, CBS had declared the ONDCP ads as non-controversial, which is why they ran in between the naked boobies, around, before, and over and underneath on Sunday. Maybe CBS ran those hoping that, kind of like throwing the Bush people a bone. Here's a little bone. Don't take away all our licenses just because we show some naked titty on there because we want to goose up the ratings. Maybe. 20 till 1 at 560 QAM.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Neil Rogers on Sports Hole Radio, WQAM.
Dr. Howard Dean, governor, physician, searching for a way to tap into the American voter's consciousness. Then, an accidental overdose of embarrassment alters his body chemistry. And now, when Howard Dean grows angry or outraged, a startling metamorphosis occurs. The creature is driven by rage and pursued by a nation of reporters.
We're in California and Texas and New York. We're going to South Dakota and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
The creature is wanted for a tirade in Iowa. Howard Dean's political future is believed to be dead, and he must let the world think that it is dead until he can find a way to control the raging spirit that dwells within him. It'll take a Herculean effort by a busload of spin doctors to change the public perception of the governor. The only living creature in his life who still believes in him, his blind, deaf-mute dog, Lucky. The creature must run to protect himself. But where will he go?
We're going to California and Texas and New York. We're going to South Dakota and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. and
Dr. Howard Dean is the incredible joke.
It's 14 to 1 at 5.
Huh?
What that was? I like that.
Yeah, dang.
It's a little bit of a slop over. 14 to 1 at 560 QM. I got the Mad Dog at 2. You got your Bo at Dave and Buster's at 4. No Humper today. The big at 8 Panther game tonight. The reason I'm thinking about the Panther game is because I just got an email from your best close personal friend Jeff Rimmer. He said, forget about that lunch, George.
Oh, I've already forgotten about it.
But he emailed me a good column by Bob Raceman, who writes the tuning in column for the New York Daily News, which I'll get to in a minute. And, there's just so much crap going on here, it's unbelievable. All hell is broken loose, man.
Squirt, squirt?
Yeah, all hell's broken loose. Now, I did look at those hot couples on there. The first one, man, is really something special.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of that.
What to make of it? And the second one, these are people who tried last year and didn't win the big prize, but they're trying again. Right?
Right.
So anyway, be sure and email your pictures for our Hot Couples contest to contest@neilrogers.com. Couple with the most votes wins their choice of either a trip for two to hedonism in Jamaica or trip for two to Royal Oasis Casino in the Bahamas. Runner-up gets whichever trip is left over, and third place prize dinner for two at the Pizza Loft. In fact, you can buy the Rimmer's dinner there with your Pizza Loft too.
You'll take it.
Right, you can get your meal for free and then buy them their
Matter
dinner.
of fact, I'm surprised they haven't sent their picture in on any of these.
Oh, geez. Don't forget, you got till February 13th to send in your pictures, and then the week of February 16th you'll be able to vote. Okay? Are we all up to date?
We got it.
Just too much heavy-duty crap going on here. It's unbelievable. Anyway, New York Daily News. Bob Raceman says, last month, Bono, U2's lead singer, asked NFL Suits if he and Jennifer Lopez could perform a duet during the Super Bowl halftime show. Bono and J-Lo wanted to sing a new song they recorded together, An American Prayer, which highlights the fight against AIDS in Africa. The NFL said no to Bono. We simply decided that we are going to deliver, as we do annually, an extremely entertaining halftime show. An NFL spokesman said at the time, we don't believe it's appropriate to focus on a single issue. There they go again. Except drugs, of course. Unless, of course, it's Janet Jackson's star-covered breast. That particular anatomical structure was the focus of NFL's halftime show Sunday night. Like some sort of avenging angel, Commissioner Paul Tagliabue now speaks of turning future Super Bowl halftime spectacles into suffragette meetings. Has the end come for bare body parts and body shaking? Don't count on it. While Tagliabue, along with all corporate entities involved in Sunday's halftime production, have publicly expressed their cover-your-butt version of proper outrage, behind the scenes, I believe, they're thumping their chests, properly covered, of course, and jumping for joy. Throughout the history of the Super Bowl, TV networks or other media outlets have tried aggressively counter-programming against the game, especially the halftime show. The idea is to take viewers away from the Super Bowl so they don't return to the game telecast. There's been stuff like a special edition of Saturday Night Live or some pro wrestling extravaganza or some other kind of special. Sunday night it was the Lingerie Bowl on pay-per-view, a squadron of scantily clad models squared off in a football game that went for $19.95. What the NFL did on Sunday was fight salaciousness with salaciousness. A head-to-head battle of bump and grind. The PPV gang trotted out beautiful bodies. The NFL countered with foul-mouthed, crotch-grabbing rappers and Ms. Jackson, who had already given the national audience a peek. Remember the flash job she pulled off while performing Black Cat at the 1990 MTV Video Music Awards of her assets. No question the NFL won this battle of the buzz. Lingerie Bowl promoters, today they must feel like a bunch of boobs. As Tagliabue looks down the road, he doesn't have to worry about viewer defections from Super Bowl halftime. Even if the commish carries out his promise to sanitize the event, awareness for it already has been heightened. Leading up to past Super Bowls, neither the public nor media cared much about halftime extravaganzas. That all changed when Ms. Jackson, as Justin Timberlake said, experienced a major wardrobe malfunction Sunday night. Yes, from a business standpoint, Tagliabue and company should be pleased. Almost as happy as Fox Network Suits, who will reap the benefits of this controversy during the build-up to next season's Super Bowl, which they will air. Tagliabue probably was disappointed over what went down on stage in Houston Sunday night. Even the most cynical cannot deny this. That said, Tagliabue has only himself to blame. He's the man in charge. He's ultimately responsible for all elements of the Super Bowl. That's why he continues to engage in some sleazy corporate maneuvering. Tagliabue and his PR machine are using MTV as the scapegoat, blaming that company because it produced a halftime show. Who hired MTV? Is Viacom MTV's parent company? Is Viacom CBS's parent company? See, Tagliabue's not hammering either CBS or Viacom because those companies serve as NFL bankers paying through the nose for TV rights to the AFC, playoffs, and Super Bowl. You don't mess with people who overpay for your product. MTV, an easy target for Tagliabue. The way he sees it, MTV is a company used to controversy. It fits right in with MTV's image. So make MTV the bad guy in an attempt to extricate the NFL from a mess it created. Has Tagliabue or his colleagues ever watched MTV? When Tagliabue hired MTV producers to book Super Bowl 38's halftime, did he really think they were going to present a triple bill of Air Supply, Yanni, and John Tesh? In the long run, despite Tagliabue's righteous indignation, the NFL comes up a winner. Once again, the league has stumbled into a good thing. And to think Janet Jackson did all of this without once whipping out her cell phone.
Very good.
What a nice comment. Thanks, Rimmer. Rimmer's in San Jose where the Panthers... I never even mentioned, did I?
No.
I was talking about your free lunch that you're not going to get. No. The Big O is on at 8 to 10.
Oh!
Or 7, whatever the hell he's on, 7 to 10. Then you got Panther preview at 10 o'clock. The Panthers out on the West indignation. The NFL comes up a winner. Once again, the league has stumbled into a good thing. And to think Janet Jackson did all of this with...
She got on the other one. Someone suggested maybe the moon was on the other one.
Somebody wanted to know if the pasty was tasty. I guarantee you Justin ain't going to be able to answer that one. Trust me when I tell you. How many votes we got on that poll? The thing is starting to pile up again here. It's just unbelievable. What's your take on Boobgate? Grow up, America, you boobs. 419, 51.5% out of 813 vote. I think we got another shot at 1,000 again today, you know what?
Could be.
How can this thing have such momentum, okay? Such big
Absolutely.
momentum. What?
It's got legs.
A boob with legs.
Yeah.
Man, can you see that?
Yeah, I'm picturing it right now.
The attack of the legged boobs. Anyway, Grow Up America, you boobs, 419. It was totally contrived. I loved it, 123. I loved it. When can I see more? 103. It was totally contrived. I hated it, 86. It was shameful. The FCC should stick it to them, 54. I think it was really an accident, 15. Idiots. And I haven't seen it, 13. Desperados who don't have a TV, I guess. I guarantee it's going to be on every channel you see. In fact, let me just punch up at random. Any channel right now?
Swing Club.
Ooh, what do you say?
Nothing? I haven't heard that.
Couples.
Okay, so single guys showing up the door doesn't seem to be a problem, but what about the cost? Well, swinging ain't cheap.
There you go. Boy, talk about right up your alley. Man. Well, that's the Playboy channel. They're a bunch of perverts anyway. We all know that.
Uh-huh.
And like it a lot. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. We had some technical problems before, and you know something? It's probably just as well. Yeah. I think it was an act of...
Oh, God.
WQAM, hello.
Chamba?
See what I mean? Right there. I knew it. Instant proof. WQAM line 9. Hello.
Hello, can I speak to one that's in charge of the phone lines there?
What is it?
The one who is in charge of phone lines.
In charge of phone lines?
The phone service?
Yeah. You're in charge of your ass, man.
Rectum.
I can't believe he's calling line 9 now, you know it?
Wow.
Desperate.
I know.
WQAM, hello.
Hello, speak to Neil.
Yes, speaking.
Hey, Neil, listen, everybody's going on and on about this boob job, but...
Yes, they are.
How come no one made a big stink out of this, with all the security and flights being canceled out of Houston, that this guy's able to march on the field like that?
Because the reason they're not talking about it is because CBS covered it up with the CBS Eye and old photos of Walter Cronkite and Eric Severin.
They wouldn't even acknowledge there was something going on the field, you know?
Right, that's right, because they were terrified that anybody would see any nudity out there. Plus, I finally did see a clip that they took from field level, and the guy was a big fat porker anyway, so who wanted to see that?
We didn't need to see it, but they could have still talked about it. I mean, it's just child's play.
Exactly.
So, anyway.
Like I said, treat the American people like a bunch of overgrown children, man. It works like a charm.
All righty.
See you at the border. See you at Niagara Falls, man. See you at the casino. 12:56 at 560 QAM. We got the Mad Dog, the Angry Puppy, coming up at 2.
Live and local. We're We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
It's not just the 1 to 2 hour. It's a phenomenon.
You adore them. You idolize them. And now you can join them in their most personal moment. Just when we made you think reality TV couldn't get any better than fondling your ass, Fox presents Celebrity Toilets. Watch all your favorite celebrities go doo-doo. Rosie O'Donnell, Dr. Phil, Oprah, Trista and Ryan, Paris Hilton, Ann Coulter, even the Christ-like George Bush. Now, Mr. President Bush. Oh, thanks, Andy. Yes, all the celebrities. Trista and Ryan. Paris Hilton. Ann Coulter. Even the Christ-like George Bush.
Which I don't have time for because I got to get to this MoveOn.org thing, which is very urgent and important and great.
Okay.
Under the guise of promoting sound science, the Bush administration is advancing a policy that could make it more difficult for federal agencies to protect health and the environment, U.S. scientists say. A White House Office of Management and Budget, OMB, bulletin drafted in August 2003 would allow the government to handpick scientists to second-guess scientific research, opponents say. The text of the bulletin says its purpose would be to ensure that all research affecting federal regulations, such as environmental or health advisors, would be thoroughly peer-reviewed by unbiased researchers. But scientists feel the government is commandeering a team that is near and dear to their hearts. It wouldn't be peer-reviewed as we're used to, said William Schlesinger, president of the Ecological Society of America, which represents 8,000 scientists in academia, government, and industry. The OMB bulletin would require that peer reviewers be independent of the agency involved when it comes to significant regulatory information. Experts receiving funding from the agency involved who have performed multiple peer reviews for that agency in recent years or just one review on the same topic would be eliminated as potential reviewers. That would eliminate the top experts in any given field, scientists said in letters responding to the book. In other words, environment, that's a bunch of crap.
Right.
Anything that, evolution, no, forget about that.
Global warming, liberal
So this
lies.
pacifies all of those kooks out there, the big business cronies and the born-again, the God-thumping cronies. The God Squad. Anyway, MoveOn.org. Anybody who's a member or would like to be, or who's to the left of Attila the Hun and is sick and tired of all this fascist crap, click on, we got a link to it on our website, MoveOn.org.
Yes.
Dear MoveOn member, during the build-up to war, President Bush said the United States must not ignore the threat gathering against us. Facing clear evidence of peril, we cannot wait for the final proof, the smoking gun, that could come in the form of a mushroom cloud. We have every reason to assume the worst, and we have an urgent duty to prevent the worst from coming. On the eve of sending troops into battle, Bush asserted that intelligence gathered by this and other governments leaves no doubt that the Iraq regime continues to possess and conceal some of the most lethal weapons ever devised. Now David Kay, the CIA's chief weapons inspector, has testified before Congress that these weapons do not exist. In an attempt to evade responsibility for the misleading statements that pushed the nation into war, Bush has announced plans to form an independent inquiry to look into what went wrong. An inquiry would serve the Bush administration well. It would envelop the issue in a fog of uncertainty, deflect blame onto the intelligence services, and delay any political damage until 2005, after the upcoming election. But the facts need no clarification. Despite repeated warnings from the CIA and the Defense Intelligence Agency, President Bush and his administration hyped and distorted the threat that Iraq posed, and now that reality is setting in, the president wants to pin the blame on someone else. We can't let him. Congress has the power to censure this president, to formally reprimand him for betraying the nation's trust. If ever there was a time for this, it's now. Join our call on Congress to censure President Bush at moveon.org/censure. It's clear that we've been misled. David Kay said last week, I'm personally convinced that there were not large stockpiles of newly produced weapons of mass destruction, and we don't find the people, the documents, or the physical plants that you'd expect to find if the production was going on. Kay said these things shortly after resigning from his post as Bush's chief weapons inspector. Bush, in his 2003 State of the Union address, said, the British government has learned that Saddam Hussein recently sought significant quantities of uranium from Africa, yet Ambassador Joe Wilson, who was sent to Niger in February 2002 to determine whether Iraq was trying to purchase uranium materials there, concluded that intelligence related to Iraq's nuclear weapons program was twisted to exaggerate the Iraqi threat. That's the same Joseph Wilson whose wife was outed from the CIA, Valerie Plame, by Bob Novak. A CIA report in February 2003 said we do not have any direct evidence that Iraq has used the period since 1998 to reconstitute its weapons of mass destruction programs. It's also clear that the misleading was deliberate. The respected Carnegie Endowment for International Peace recently found that the administration systematically misrepresented the threat from Iraq. The basis for President Bush's uranium claim was known at the time to be forged and not credible. Top White House officials knew that the CIA seriously disputed the claim that Saddam Hussein was seeking uranium in Africa long before the claim was included in Bush's January address to the nation, according to the Washington Post. Secretary of State Colin Powell became alarmed at the level of intelligence distortion when he read the first draft of his speech to the UN prepared for Powell by Vice President Dick Cheney's chief of staff. He was so upset that he lost his temper, throwing several pages in the air and declaring, "I'm not reading this bullshit." Our democracy only works when we know the truth. We now know President Bush and his administration deliberately misled Congress and the American people. Censure is the least we should expect in response. I say impeachment would be better, but we'll settle for this for right now. The independent inquiry will need a year or more to come to a conclusion according to the Bush administration. It took less time than that for the country to go to war. We don't need more investigation. We need accountability, and we need it now. Join our call on Congress to censure President Bush at moveon.org/censure. We'll be holding a press conference in Washington this Thursday announcing our campaign for censure. If you sign on now, we can count your signature at the press conference. Please sign on right away. And if you'd like to, moveon.org. It tells you what to do and where to send it and where to stick it, yada, yada. How do you like that?
I like it a lot.
You go, boys. Nice going, man. As we have a handful of people in this country who continue standing up to fascism. Not too many, but hopefully just enough. Now, getting back to that booby.
Back to
well, we don't want to let too much time slide by, do we?
We don't want to let go of that yet.
I mean, there was like a whole 4-minute segment there without no booby talk. Huh? Maybe it was a
booby in the middle there.
Do you think that the whole thing was maybe just a booby trap?
They deserve a booby
trap. Oh, that was that movie. That was the name of that movie with Michael Caine and, what's his name? Superman. Christopher Reeve.
Booby trap?
Mm-hmm.
Never saw it.
Or something like that. It was a fag movie. You wouldn't like it. It was crap anyway. What's your take on Boobgate? Justin and Janet. Janet and Justin. Janet in Justin. I think she's got a big strap on. 863 votes. We can make 1,000 again today, George.
Wow.
863. 443 of which 51.3% say, "Grow up, America, you boobs, you idiots, you mindless goofballs, man. It's just a titty. Are you really that repressed?"
Yes.
And of course, the answer is yes, we are. Yes, we are. All over America, people are being asked, "Are you really so repressed?" And you can hear that little voice saying,
"Yes, I am."
Yeah. Repressed. Censor and repress, repress and censor. Cover up them statues. 130 say it was totally contrived, I loved it. 111 say I loved it, when can I see more? 93 say it was totally contrived, I hated it. It was shameful, the FCC should stick it to them, 58. Them meaning CBS and everybody with Viacom and Justin and Janet and everybody else. I think it really was an accident, 15. And I haven't seen it yet, 13. Well, get on there, hop on it. And the ones who said they hadn't seen it yet, I guarantee you they're like, they're on our website. They're hitting it over and over, watching Justin rip that thing off it over and over and over again. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Remember what I used to scream about when the media, like during Alien, I think I brought it up for the first time. The media tells us what's important, what we should really care about. And wasn't this disgusting? And here it is again. And every time they do that, they kind of like put it in the inset off to the side of the screen, take it up at least a half of the screen so you make sure you see it real big. And they keep showing it over and over again in slow-mo. And here comes the hand, and there goes the thing. And out pops the booby, and there you go. Disgusting. WQAM, hello.
Well?
Yes, sir.
It appears to me that we need to get back to family values.
Yeah. Okay, Reverend Jones. 567-0560, pound 560. He didn't make it on line 9. Now he's trying on some other line. What's my line? That's going to be his autobiography. What's my line? Isn't it great, over the years, the number of people who have made their life, who had no life, and they made a life from this show. I think that's part of the public service that goes unnoticed.
Deserve extra money for that.
Maybe he knows John Charles Daly and Dorothy Kilgallen and Bennett Cerf and Arlene Francis and Soupy Sales. Oh, I bet you Boca Brian squeezed himself here and all that. What a memory this old fart has got, huh? Of course, he and I are the only ones who know what I'm talking about, but that's okay.
I remember that show. Vaguely.
What's my line?
C.
I'll tell you who else is talking about it. Yeah, he's wondering what he's going to be doing after the next couple of weeks. It's 12 minutes after 1 at 560 WQAM. Don't forget, we got Panther hockey tonight. Any interest?
No. Stevie
Weiss is injured, and Jay Bullmaster and Nathan Horton and Tim Horton all injured. Things are looking kind of rough. Tremendous hockey town, man. Make no mistake about it. Hey, guys, last time you looked at it, maybe you decided this thing is just too small. It doesn't impress women. It definitely doesn't last as long as it used to. I just can't stretch it out. It's too thin. We're talking, of course, about that paycheck. If you want to do something about it, call our friends at Fast Train toll free. Get a real career and guess what? A real paycheck that goes along with having some skills and a real job. Call 1-866-FAST-TRAIN to start that new high-paying computer career. I guarantee you by the end of the year you'll be making more than Todd Dreck. In just 4 short months, Fast Train can help you get a new high-paying computer career. The demand for computer professionals is growing like crazy. Like I said, Todd Dreck, crazy. So pick up the phone and call them today at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. With 7 locations, they're bound to have a campus nearby you, convenient to where you live. Fast Train offers you job placement, financial assistance for people who qualify, and they've got day, night, and weekend classes, so there's no excuses, no mo, to stay in any crappy dead-end job working for peanuts. If you register now, you can have that new high-paying career like I've told you over and over and over again until it's coming out of your ears in 4 short months. So instead of just hearing about it, do something about it. Either check it out on the web first at fasttrain.com or make the call that could really change your life, give you a big fat one and a paycheck too. Call 1-866-FAST-TRAIN.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Members of Congress, distinguished guests, and fellow citizens. I oppose amnesty, mentoring children, feeding the hungry, and help for the homeless. And by our will, compassion, reverence, and integrity will be defeated. Under this reform, senior citizens have now been captured or killed to seize their assets. By doing so, we can cut the deficit in half, and it is right. Vice President Cheney voluntarily pledged to dismantle public schools. We expect third graders to gamble their lives and futures on drugs. And that's not asking too much. But unfortunately, 400,000 fewer young people are using illegal drugs than in the year 2001. And above all of us, parents, schools, and government, must work together to contract sexually transmitted diseases.
All right. You go, boy. It's 116 at 560 WQAM, 891 votes. For just a second, it was just like yesterday, 888.
Yeah.
Just like Eric's autobiography, 888. That was bad. That was a cheap shot. You're doing a hell of a job, Eric, okay, no matter what George says, okay? He just likes to pick on you because he's jealous. Them little people, always jealous of us big fat people. It was 891 right now. Now, 109 votes to get to 1,000 again. I think the threat we'll have to lay out there today is if we don't get to 1,000 by the end of the show at 2 o'clock, we'll never put any more nude body parts on our website again. No more titties, no more schlongs, no more,
There's a threat.
No more.
Rectum.
Right.
Miguel came in. I haven't gotten the copies yet, and so you haven't either of entrance that we've gotten today.
Right.
But he did poke his head in the door to tell me.
He poked his head in the door?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, I hope the door didn't shut real fast.
Like a turtle.
Ooh.
And he said, the wedding pictures are so very sweet.
Yeah.
And then he went on to something else.
Well, what does that mean?
The wedding pictures are so very sweet, but
not erotic.
But no, yeah, whatever. They are.
Well, hey, listen, that doesn't make any difference. If they happen to be a really beautiful couple, they might still win it. Not just whoever's got the most clothing off. In fact, many of the people who have entered our contest the last couple of years, we were praying that they would put some back on.
Right.
A lot of it back on, please. But at any rate. So in other words, what he's trying to suggest is more flesh. Just relax. We just got this thing started already. I mean, just calm down. Don't you remember the last couple of years every time we started? First of all, they got to go take the pictures, man.
It's so easy anymore.
They got to take the pictures on their digital camera. Maybe we got some old-fashioned people out there doing their Fuji stuff like Don Imus would recommend. That's why we love Kodak, because I'm from Rochester. What?
Disposable digital cameras now.
Right. Absolutely, man.
Absolutely.
You can have one in your hand in a couple of seconds, and the camera, too. Just squeeze that little thing, that shutter, and squirt. Before you know, you'll have something really exciting for us. They'll come, and the pictures too. And we got to 900, 897. We need to get to 1,000 before 2 o'clock, or all of this fun that you're having right now, that may come to a real rapid end. It's always fun to threaten the audience, you know? Especially with you as the weapon. But we're not doing that this time, because I'm really whipped up into a frenzy now. Like Duff would say, they're back. Hey, Duff, get a clue, will you please? Of course, Duff ain't interested in no naked female breast, but that's another story for tomorrow. Haliburton and $16 million food probe. We just touched on this so lightly the other day. And you have no idea how I had to scour to find this damn story. Thanks, Lynn. Your friend Lynn Samuels had this on her website. I don't know where she... Yeah. No, seriously, I kept typing in Haliburton and overcharges for meals, anything out of the sun. Couldn't find it. Found some of the old stuff from December. We wanted to find out the latest Haliburton overcharges, the way that Dick Cheney's good buddies are raping the American public, including all of us. Haliburton Company allegedly overcharged more than $16 million for meals at a U.S. military base in Kuwait during the first 7 months of last year, according to a published report yesterday, citing Pentagon investigators auditing the company's work. They're a bunch of grave robbers. They're a bunch of thieves. Your president's a crook. Your vice president's a crook. They're all Richard Pearl is another crook. And, of course, birds of a feather are crooked together. Because of the charges, which involved food service work done by Haliburton, Unit Kellogg, Brown, and Root, the Pentagon has extended its audit of KBR food services to include more than 50 other dining facilities in Kuwait and Iraq, according to an email sent Friday to more than 12 U.S. Army contracting officials and reviewed by the right-wing Wall Street Journal. The company issued a statement yesterday saying it is not an issue of overcharging. It's about finding a good way to estimate the number of meals so soldiers can get fed. It's difficult to determine how many people will be at the dinner table in the middle of a war zone, and the number must be based on estimates. We plan, purchase, and prepare meals based on estimates, they said. At times, soldiers are on leave or troops are shifted to other locations. Last month, the Houston-based oilfield services company admitted workers may have taken kickbacks from a Kuwaiti subcontractor supplying U.S. troops in Iraq, causing a potential $6 million overcharge to U.S. taxpayers. It sent a $6.3 million check to the U.S. Army Materiel Command, its customer, to cover potential overcharging. According to the Wall Street Journal, the latest dispute involves meals served at Camp Arafjan, a large U.S. military base south of Kuwait City. In the email memo that went out Friday, it said that in July alone, a Saudi subcontractor hired by KBR billed for 42,042 meals a day on average, but serviced only 14,053 meals a day. Now, I guess, I have to have about 28,000 spares just in case somebody else shows up.
Right.
It's only triple the number of actual meals they needed.
Right. What if you invite a guest?
A day. That's right. Or maybe the president might show up again without that turkey this time.
Sure.
Maybe that turkey will show up alone.
Or you hook up and get a date out in the desert there?
No se permite allí. In response to the allegations, KBR agreed privately Friday to repay the money until the company can prove that its billing procedures were appropriate, the paper said, citing people familiar with the embarrassing rip-off situation. Again and again. See, if you enjoy rape, you know what I mean? There's some people like being raped.
Absolutely.
Right. If you like being raped, then by all means, vote for Bush again. If you don't like it, well, good luck to us. Vote for Scary John Kerry. Well, speaking of Scary John Kerry, I guess like maybe equal time. I think this is kind of cute. Oh, that's not it, though. That's the wrong one. Well, it's close to it,
Senator John Kerry, congratulations on your second win in as many weeks. How's it feel to win New Hampshire?
There's an unfairness, and I think most people in America see it.
How do you expect to project your message now outside of New Hampshire, outside of New England, outside of Iowa?
I look forward to going hunting with an AK-47.
What are you prepared to challenge the Democratic Party on?
I look forward to cheating seniors out of a real Medicare benefit, leaving millions of children behind, cloud up the issue, and making a mockery of the words. We have to also do a better job of reaching out to the world, run up deficits, trample on civil rights, and disrespect the Constitution.
Senator Kerry, thanks so much for joining us. We'll be speaking to you many times in the days and weeks to come.
Bring it on. And as they say in the South, well, that dog won't hunt.
And don't let the door hit you in the ass.
Welcome.
On the way out, whatever he said. See, I told you John Kerry a long time ago. He said, he's old and fuddy-duddy and an old man. Well, maybe we need an old man.
He hunted.
23 after 1 at 560 WQAM. What do we got? 9-0-something. We're going to make 1,000 or else that's the end of that pictures.
Credible.
Oh, 9:14. They're starting to really pour in now. They're crapping their pants. They want a lot. We're just getting started with that stuff.
Speaking of that, by the way,
yes?
you should Check out the website real quick and make sure that this campaign poster is appropriate. It's an old slogan visualized here.
Yeah. One moment, please. I have to switch over. I'm switching.
Thank you, Tommy, for that.
Oh, nice going, Tommy. Yeah. All right. All right. I guess, well, he's got that hair, that kind of short hair look too now himself, so I guess it's spreading around.
That shorn hair.
Right. Read my lips, no more Bush. Look at that, the Democrats' new slogan. That's a beautiful thing. Hey, we're going to take that off of there unless you get to 1,000 votes. Oh. See, you know what's going to happen? Now we're going to start the same crap that happened yesterday, and we won't be able to get on our own website.
Flood it.
Better just calm down a little bit. That is great.
It's when you accomplish something. When you
no more Bush. That's a beautiful thing. I wonder if Janet would be proud of that. Of course, it's a little bit light complected to be Janet, but nevertheless, her name could be Janet. Maybe it's Janet Reno. What do you think? Maybe underneath all that crusty old exterior, there's a really lovely sex pot hiding underneath, huh? On that trench coat.
Yeah, pot of honey.
Oh, 919. We need 81 votes, boy. And I think once you take a peek at that, you'll say, "Oh yeah, please don't take this away from us, please, please." See, this is why, as we all know, but I mean nobody, of course, talks about it. Just like the Billy Tozen thing I had. Thanks again, Lynn, for that story too, which I searched for and couldn't find. I saw it on TV and I scoured and couldn't find it. People ought to be screaming about that, being raped and ripped off by the pharmaceutical company so that this son of a bitch can have a $1 to $2.5 million a year job, preventing people from saving money on those dangerous drugs from Canada, eh? Oh, who the hell are you kidding, man? And what are they talking about? They're talking about boobies. I think her boob is a weapon of mass distraction. Make no mistake about it. You'll see now that we got that other thing on there, now you're going to see a real problem getting on that website. See, I'm just like now. We're self-destructing. Are you refreshing yours? Oh, that's right. Yours is back, right?
Right. No, I got on all right.
How many you got?
Oh, I'm not on that page.
I'm talking about on that page. No, but it doesn't make any difference which page it is. It still shows you how many votes.
No, I'm not on there, obviously.
Crawling along 919. I bet you the next time it's like a whole bunch of votes spurt on there.
922.
Oh,
I got 926.
See? They're coming in so fast we can't even take three of us just to keep track, to count more than three. Look at that. My thing is just can't even make it through. On the bottom, it's trying to scroll its way through there, trying to fight through all of the traffic. Man. 26 after 1 at 560 WQAM. Speaking of traffic, if your carpets look like everybody in the county has been racing through there with barefoot and all kinds of mud and slush, if they don't look too good, don't go out and waste a lot of money on brand new carpeting. Cost you an arm and 3 legs. Do the smart thing like I've been doing for over 20 years, calling Dry Concepts. The reason that all the others have come and gone, they've fallen by the wayside in that time, and Dry Concepts is still around, is pretty simple. They're the best. You can't beat them anywhere, no how. They're the only people that dry clean your carpets. It's an exclusive patented method, and that sucks out even the deep down dirt in the fibers of your carpet that you can't see with the naked eye. Can I say naked?
No.
With the human eye. When they get done, your carpets look vibrant. They look just like brand new. They smell lemony fresh. They're dry in a couple of hours, and it'll be like somebody performed a miracle right there on your floor. So if you want a fabulous job at a guaranteed written price up front, don't even think about calling anybody else. Call the folks that have been doing it right in town for well over 20 years, Dry Concepts. And when you do call, be sure and ask how they can put you on your standby list, which you can save you 15% on your next carpet cleaning job. Call them today, toll free. You'll thank me. You'll say, oh, thank God we called them. Call 1-800-248-5071. That's 1-800-248-5071, or log on to their prestigious website at dryconcepts.com.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
And my new album sucks, so I've got Juan Valdez here. You got that coffee hot?
Sí.
As I said in Newsweek, I love coffee enemas.
Sí, decaf in the back half.
That's why I'm opening up my chain of coffee enema places called Starbuds.
Sí, Starbucks.
Starbuds.
We've secretly replaced Janet's coffee with piping hot Folgers crystals.
Juan, you got those gloves on?
Sí.
Pour that coffee.
1:31 at 560. We got 9:58, 42 to go in a half an hour. It's a tall assignment, man.
And we're blowing it up again.
Are we really?
Yeah.
Well, how many you got?
No, same amount, but We're crashing the servers.
That only happened to me once. My thing is sliding right through there, man, just like a wicked worm.
Let me try to
Speaking of worms, Democratic chief says AWOL Bush will be an issue after a nominee emerges. Which, you really have to kind of wonder, how come it took him 4 years to get around to this?
Shut up.
I mean, we all read about this before the 2000 election. Of course, that was the fixed one anyway. So you got to make sure this time you win by enough that they can't fix it, even with those phony Diebold machines. With the Democratic presidential candidates campaigning across the country on Sunday, the chairman of the Democratic National Committee accused President Bush of being AWOL during his Air National Guard service, a signal of the ferocious campaign ahead once the Democrats finish with one another, beating the crap out of each other. I don't want to say who's beating the crap out of his friends, but that'll give you a clue. Revisiting an issue that arose briefly at the end of the last presidential election, the chairman, Terry McAuliffe, said he expects Mr. Bush's record of military service or lack thereof in the 1970s to become an issue this fall, especially if the Democrats nominate the frontrunner, Senator John Kerry of Massachusetts. Mr. McAuliffe said he was staying neutral in his fight for his party's nomination, but he said if Mr. Kerry is the nominee, Mr. McAuliffe will relish comparing him with Mr. Bush. I look forward to that debate when John Kerry, a war hero with a chest full of medals, is standing next to George Bush, a man who was AWOL in the National Guard, Mr. McAuliffe said on the ABC program This Week with George Step on Top of Us. How do you like that?
I like
it.
So
they're taking off the gloves, and thank God for that. Now, how many you got? 950 or what?
960-ish.
960-ish?
Well, since I reloaded it. Now I'm reloading again.
969. Well, this isn't even, since we put that last thing up there. I mean, the Janet and Justin thing, they probably, they've seen that 45,000 times. Actually, we don't really have that much response on our website. It's just the same 10 people, that's all.
Right.
Over and over again. Maybe they bought some of that, Cialis stuff on the Stupid Bowl. Oh, speaking of, people doing stuff, 17-year-old teenager, his sentence for gay sex upheld in Kansas. I think if we had to pick the two most Neanderthal states in America, Georgia and Kansas, always seem to be the ones, aren't they?
Those are the ones. The evolution
even worse than Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, even Oklahoma. Advocates for gay rights were outraged after the Kansas Court of Appeals ruled that the state can punish homosexual acts between minors much more severely than heterosexual ones. Advocates for gay and lesbian and bi and this and that civil rights reach. What is that? Gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgendered. GLBT. Advocates for gay civil rights reacted with anger after the Kansas Court of Appeals ruled Friday that the state can punish homosexual acts between minors much more severely than heterosexual ones. Not just more severely, but much more severely. In fact, I think I left one much out. Much more severely. The 2-to-1 ruling affects Matthew R. Lyman, who was sentenced in 2001 to more than 17 years in prison. I can't read this because I'm going to cry.
Come on.
He was sentenced in 2001 to more than 17 years in prison for having consensual oral sex after he had just turned 18 with a boy nearly a month away from his 15th birthday in a home for the developmentally disabled. According to state law, sexual activity with anyone under 16 is illegal, but if Lyman had been having a heterosexual encounter, he would have only faced a sentence of 15 months under the state's Romeo and Juliet law, which limits penalties for underage sex between heterosexual teenagers.
Right, because that's romantic and
wholesome. Other than oral sex from another male.
That's a
God
disgusting,
forbid.
unnatural act.
Gross. This is the second time the Kansas Court of Appeals has heard his case. In February 2002, the Kansas Appellate Court rejected his equal protection claim, but the U.S. Supreme Court remanded Lyman's case last year after its historic Lawrence versus Texas ruling, when it ruled laws cannot treat the sexual conduct of gays and lesbians differently than that of heteros. Mitchell Katine, a Texas-based attorney who participated in the Lawrence versus Texas case, was disappointed with Friday's ruling. The Supreme Court wanted to give the Kansas court an opportunity to correct the case in the light of Lawrence. He told the Planet Out, whatever network, how many Supreme Court cases are there going to have to be before courts get the message that gay and lesbian people are to be treated equally?
About 30, man.
Kansas Judge Henry W. Green justified his ruling by saying legislators could claim homosexual acts entail health risks. Green also wrote that heterosexual offenses are less objectionable because they could lead to babies being born, and same-sex relationships do not generally lead to unwanted pregnancies. I see. So in other words, thank God we just got the good news. You cannot get any kind of sexually transmitted disease from a heterosexual relationship. All right. Go for it. It's insane, reacted Chris Hampton, a spokeswoman for the American Civil Liberties Union. The state is basically encouraging teen pregnancy, she said. That's right, all you straight kids out there, bang your brains out because maybe we'll have a nice baby.
Hey, now.
Like on Passions, look what it did for Kay.
Don't listen, honey.
Human Rights Campaign President Cheryl Jacques said she hoped the ACLU would succeed. All people should be treated in the eyes of the law equally, yet this decision upholds penalties that are designed to target gay and lesbian people simply to show disapproval. That's Kansas, where Reverend Fred Phelps is from, who attends funerals of people who die from AIDS. Kansas and Georgia. Sick. Sad. It's America, man. And they're still arguing about the Confederate flag in South Carolina. You notice how Tom Brokaw tried to inject that into the debate a few days ago? Tom, you're an asshole, man. Just bug off. Let's see. Here's one that says, Tom Brady is making the rounds. He'll be in Toronto next week to get the key to the city. Tom Brady will be in Toronto next week?
All right.
Holy cow, I better go into training.
All right.
Man, gotta get out my lip gloss. It says a question. If CBS gets fined by the FCC for Janet and Miss Tinkerbell, why doesn't WQM get fined? What's worse, looking at Janet's Tata or looking at Carlos when you get out of the elevator? That's an excellent point. When the elevator works. Freaky Carlos. Says, miss you at Publix, but at least I get some ice cream now since you're not there.
Excellent.
You know what I tried, and it's really not that bad tasting, but it just will make you fart your brains out. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Powell, I'm so sorry. Fart your brains out. Is a soy ice cream. Do you ever have that soya?
No.
You ever see it?
I don't think so.
It doesn't have it's not like a regular milk product. It's made with soy milk.
Looking.
It doesn't have anywhere near as much as carbohydrates, so it doesn't make your blood sugar go soaring. And it also doesn't give you the wild diarrhea, but it just creates this unbelievable bubble of gas in your ass, farting your brains out all day and night. Huh?
Ass gas.
No, you pass gas.
Oh. That's crass.
Now let's see if we got to 1,000 yet, huh? Oh, 987. This is like falling off a slippery rock. No sweat. Falling off a log in the middle of Lake Okeechobee. 21 till 2. You know, I remember when I first came to Florida in Sarasota, I believe it was, 1973. And I was reading a story. I didn't do the news, but I was doing a morning show, and I was reading a story about something that said Lake Okeechobee is how I pronounced it.
Okie dokie.
And somebody said to me, you idiot, it's Okeechobee, you jackass. And I said, okie dokie, like you just said. But you ruined it. Hey, EF Tire and Auto Repair will say okie dokie when you bring your car there to be repaired because these people know their stuff inside and out. They know how to take care of your car. So don't just trust your car, which costs you such a fortune, is so important to some schmuck in the Yellow Pages. Take it to EF. They're at 5083 North Federal Highway, just a mile and a half north of Sample Road in Pompano Beach, where they had over 300 people for the free spaghetti dinner last night at prestigious Pompano Park. Nice going, Dick. At EF Tire and Auto Repair, experience the difference that experience makes. All EF mechanics are ASC certified technicians, current with latest technology, which, to make a long story short, really means they know their crap. Most of them have been with the EF team for nearly 20 years. A couple of them have been there for longer than that.
About 30, man.
The EF team has got combined over 200 years experience. And no job is too big or too small for our friends at EF, because whether it's a blown fuse, a blown engine, anything in between, they can do it. From a 73 Toyota to an 04 Bentley. EF Tire and Auto Repair be doing it all, and all jobs are meticulously, thoroughly, carefully, and somewhat double-checked for accuracy by the shop foreman. Every car is cleaned upon completion of the work, so it's just like brand spanking new. EF honors most extended warranties. They offer you while you wait service on most repairs, too. EF Tire and Auto Repair, you can't beat them anywhere, anyhow. They're at 5083 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Ask about their 90-day same-as-cash, no-interest credit card, too, when you call 954-426-9926. That's 954-426-9926. EF Tire and Auto Repair, nationally known as one of the most successful auto repair facilities in the entire U.S. of A. At EF, their motto is, nobody cares more and nobody nowhere will work harder to earn your business.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now. QAM.
For the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you're listening to the Hockey Authority, Neil Goff.
And now, a word from Howard Dean's wife.
Hi, hello there. I'm Dr. Judith Steinberg, wife of presidential candidate Howard Dean. You can call me Judy, not Judge Judy. That's a different miscut. People want to know why I'm hardly ever on campaign trail with Howie. Hey, did you get a good look at me in Iowa? I scare the crap out of myself. I make Frau Tabis and I look like a Shayna Poonam. Stop me if I'm bombarding you with too much Yiddish, huh? Anyway, Howie says after I showed up, his numbers drop it. Know what I say? That's a bunch of mishigas. For those of you who don't capiche the Yiddish, that means crap. Howie's a good guy. though he's what you might call a loose cannon. He's got a pretty bad temper on him. I remember one time, one of our kids left the cap off of the toothpaste. I thought he was going to blow a gasket. The veins popped out in his head, and that white spit strings were going in the corners of his mouth. He went Meshuggah. I spent 23 years with this Shagets. Most of the time he's a mensch, but on occasion, I hate him. I think my husband Howie would make for a very good president. One of the things I'm a little PO'd about is that Howie doesn't let us have a TV. I want to watch Sex in the City, I got to schlep down to campaign headquarters or to the Kroger's to watch on some tiny black and white set. I have never seen any program in color, so I'm no Jackie Kennedy. Hell, if you look at me, I'm no Ted Kennedy. I don't wear makeup. I'm like a whisker away from being Amish. Don't expect to see much more of me during the campaign. The only reason I'm addressing you today is because I was able to chew through my restraints. Anyway, Gazakazont. That's Yiddish for Dr. Judith Steinberg. Over and out.
Paid for by the committee to elect John Kerry president.
145. We got those big 5 primaries and 2 caucuses. There's Cream and Coffee Annan.
Minister of
Just met with President Bush. He said, boy, what a moron.
I haven't spoken to Mr. Dentash yet, but everyone seems ready to resume, and I hope to be able to invite them to a meeting shortly.
For a cup of coffee. Oh, listen to this. Ohio Representative Bob Ney says an expert on the Middle East who appears regularly on the Fox News channel has ties to an Iranian terrorist organization.
All right.
It's on our website. Alariza Jafarzadeh said Friday his group's opposition to Iran's fundamentalist Muslim government does make it a terrorist group. The State Department added the National Council of Resistance of Iran to its terrorist list in 2002 because it had ties to Mujahideen-e-Khalq, a terrorist organization that seeks to overthrow Iran's government. Jafarzadeh was the Washington-based council's congressional representative till the State Department closed its orifice in August 2002. Absolutely not. That's ridiculous, Jafarzadeh said when asked about if his organization was a terrorist group. Yada, yada, yada. Now he's simply not telling the truth. Nay, Republican of Ohio said in a telephone interview late Thursday. Fox News officials refused to comment. Their mum. Jafarzadeh said he would continue to appear on the 24-hour cable news network come hell or high water. Mujahideen-e-Khalq, MEK, is a Marxist Islamic organization created by children of college-educated Iranian merchants in the 60s, the State Department said. The group resented the infiltration of Western culture during Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi's reign. Remember him?
No.
Yeah, I don't either. Remember the Shah, though?
Sure.
Oh, that was the Shah. That was him. That was the Shah of Iran.
I see.
I didn't realize he had all them other names like a spick.
Oh, yeah.
MEK supported the 79 takeover of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran and the fundamentalist revolution that overthrew the Shah of Iran, who was our guy with his savak, where he used to torture guys and pull their fingernails out to get the truth. That might tend to make you say something, you know?
It might.
You start pulling your fingernails out. 5670560, pound 560. Might get a couple of calls in here before we have to depart. It's been a wild show today. I don't know why, but is it just me or what?
No, the technical difficulties were half of it.
That's what makes the show better, is everything is all screwed up. The audience likes it better. We actually have kind of a perverse, masochistic way we enjoy it.
Tomorrow I'm going to just pull some random wires before the show.
Speaking of masochism, in fact, when you come in the morning and wait to hear me, you know what you're going to hear?
What? Oh, that.
The sounds of silence. Or, if I really want to be a nice guy and I just don't show up, you'll just have to find out. Maybe I'll just leave the audio on from Playboy Channel.
We can dance to it.
I'm always so nervous about putting that on, because we don't want to get Michael Powell all upset. We don't want to get his big fat rectum in an uproar.
Rectum?
No. Idiot. Schmuck. I wonder if he ever has wild diarrhea. You know, stop and think about that.
Who doesn't?
You think the chairman of the FCC, somebody as upstanding as Colin Powell's son, the uprighteous chairman of the Federal Communications Commission, ever has a wild bout of diarrhea? Because they're so obsessed with excretory activity and all of these things, okay? Man, I bet you his farts smell 10 times worse than mine. Okay, and that's saying a lot. That is saying a lot. Hey, don't forget, join Kim Bocamper. Now, there is a guy, Kim is about, 7'9", something like that? Man, when he cuts one, the whole neighborhood retreats. They head for the hills. Join Kimba live today, 4 to 7 at Dave & Buster's in Hollywood. The Marlins Caravan will be stopping by. We know that you're all big Marlins fans. Players will be signing autographs 5 to 6 this afternoon. They might even give you some refunds on that Marlin paraphernalia from last year on Marvin Gardens. The World Series trophy will be on display, and Billy the Marlin will be there as well, too. Remember him?
No.
He ain't no Dolphin Denny, I'll tell you that. That's this afternoon, 4 to 7 at Dave & Buster's in Hollywood, right after the prestigious Mad Dog Mandate show. 1:49, 11 before 2. Well, this thing is really, for a while there, I thought it was like a marathon, and now it's just whipped on by. And we got well over 1,000, I should have mentioned that. 1,018, not even close. Yesterday it was tense. We went right down to the ID there at 2 o'clock.
I think now that they know that we got the flush on the site, you're going to see that number growing daily.
Yeah. We're going to see something growing daily. In fact, maybe by the hour. Maybe several times a day.
About 30, man.
But not just that, but I mean, when we put that second thing on there about the Democrats' new slogan.
Yeah. I'm going to put that up in the poster.
I think that really gave them a whole new altitude on the whole thing. They were rushing. They were like stealing computers. They were knocking guys in the office off their PCs and saying, hey, get away from that. That's mine now. Let me hop on it. Hey, hop on this. Enterex Diabetic. It's a truly delicious meal replacement drink that's made for people living with diabetes, but anybody looking to cut down their sugar intake can drink it and enjoy it. It's a Mahaya, as Judy Dean would say. Enterex Diabetic is sweetened with Splenda, which is made from sugar, so there's no nasty aftertaste like you get with those drinks that use aspartame and saccharin. Recommended by doctors and dietitians for people who can't sacrifice proper nutrition just because they're in a big freaking hurry. That's freaking hurry, Michael Powell. Friggin'. Enterex Diabetic is a completely balanced nutritional supplement that provides all the essential vitamins and minerals needed for a healthy life, plus fiber and antioxidants. It's low in saturated fat and low in cholesterol, too. Enterex Diabetic is gluten-free and lactose-free. An 8-ounce can provides 237 calories of easy-to-digest nutrition. Try it once, and I guarantee you'll never go back to those sour-tasting drinks that you were using before. You can pick it up all over town because more and more people are taking it and drinking it and using it. Pick it up at Publix, Walgreens, Eckerd's, Navarro, Sedano's, CVS, and other local pharmacies. And the makers are so sure you're going to love Enterex Diabetic, they're giving away a free 2-pack. That's right, free full-size samples in chocolate and vanilla to anybody who calls their toll-free number, 1-866-368-3739. Tell them that Neil sent you by for the delicious one. Mention my name to get an additional special gift, too. Call them today for those free samples, your free 2-pack, 1-866-368-3739, or faster yet, order online at enterexdiabetic.com and click on free samples.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Increíble. Excelente. WQAM. Olé.
Tonight on E! Entertainment Television.
So, Michael, you invited children to Neverland Ranch over the weekend, right?
Many children. Thousands of children.
And what did the kids do?
I don't want to say much because I'm hurting. I'm really hurting. That's how bad it was.
I heard they busted up the place.
I'm happy to be alive. Once I went in the restroom, they locked me in there for like 45 minutes. There was doo-doo feces thrown all over the walls, the floor, the ceiling, and it stunk so bad.
I heard they broke off what's left of your nose.
It's very swollen. It's hurting me very badly. I'm in pain all the time.
Tonight on E!
So, Michael, you're still in love with children?
I want to say sorry.
What are you going to do if some kid shows up at your front door one day?
You'll see.
Come on, Michael, you can tell me.
Throw him off the balcony.
156 at 560 WQAM. We got the Mad Dog sitting by. The Bull and the Bust. I should read the entire. It's pretty short because most people weren't listening at the beginning of the show. From this morning's National Post, a stodgy right-wing newspaper here in Toronto, An editorial, no less. It says some football fans expected the Carolina Panthers to win Sunday's Super Bowl. Others correctly predicted a victory for the New England Patriots. Very few in either category would have predicted they'd see Janet Jackson's bare breast appear on their TV screens, but thanks to a weird stunt in which Justin Tinkerbell ripped away a piece of his fellow pop singer's outfit during the big game's traditionally garish song and dance halftime extravaganza, they did. According to Michael Powell, the U.S. Federal Communications Commission chairman, children, parents, and citizens deserve better than this classless, crass, and deplorable stunt. Take a deep breath, Mr. Powell. Whether the incident was simple wardrobe malfunction, as Mr. Tinkerbell claimed, an effort by Ms. Jackson to promote her upcoming album, or a bid to prove that she was not, in fact, her brother Michael, it's hard to imagine that a fleeting image of a plastic surgeon's handiwork will be what corrupts America. Real football fans, in fact, had no doubt forgotten Ms. Jackson's seemingly inadvertent striptease by the time the game ended, courtesy of what was arguably the most exciting fourth quarter in Super Bowl history. For weeks, commentators predicted a snorefest between two largely anonymous squads. Looking for a storyline, they even suggested that Super Bowl 38 will signal the dawn of a new boring football era in which defense, large league parity, and conservative coaching snuffed out exciting playmaking. We can forget all of that now, as the Super Bowl reminded us on Sunday. The NFL still serves up some of the finest drama and entertainment in sports. Mr. Powell has ordered an investigation of the CBS broadcast. But this overwrought prude aside, we suspect the majority of America's hand-wringers have already moved on. Hundreds of millions of fans went home or stayed home happy on Sunday night. Most will remember the game's great plays vividly long after Janet Jackson's breast becomes the answer to an unusually obscure question in some future edition of Trivial Pursuit. How do you like that?
I like it a lot.
I love it. Even a stodgy right-wing rag like the National Post, eh? Now, we get way over 1,000 votes on here. Like I said, if we don't get 25,000 votes in the next 30 seconds. What's your take on Boobgate? Justin and Janet at the Super Bowl, they're still talking about it. They're still looking at it. They're still whipping that thing back and forth and up and down all around the place. 1,047 votes. 539 said, grow up, America, you boobs, you lunatics, you repressed, pathetic, tragic people who are popping at Cialis and Viagra and that other stuff. What's the other one?
Niagara.
Viagra, Niagara. False. Unless you pop it, it falls. 51.5% said grow up already, will you? It was totally contrived. I loved it. 164. I loved it. When can I see more? 137. Right on our website. It was totally contrived. I hated it. 112. Yeah, politics and perversion, man. It took us all these years. We finally got the formula.
All right.
Politics and perversion. It's the pee-pee show. Wait till we have Tom Brady's penis on there tomorrow.
Doing puppetry.
It was the puppetry of Tom Brady's penis. It was shameful. The FCC should stick it to him. 64 or 6.1%. Let him have it, Michael. With both barrels, baby. I think it really was an accident. 18 silly people said that. Nobody's that stupid, are they? Well, I forgot about I forgot about our crowd. That's right. Those are the same people that show up at those appearances. And I haven't seen it. 13 haven't seen it. But how could you possibly not see it? The only people who couldn't see it are like Blind Mike or people with no TV set. People whose TVs have been repoed, something like that. Well, that's going to do it. Thanks to our fantastic engineering staff for making sure that everything was screwed up till noon, because I think that's really what made the day today, ain't it?
Oh, yeah, it made it hell.
For you, it was a picnic for me. In fact, even the ants showed up on time. Anyway, the Mad Dog is standing by. He's coming along next. You got no Humper today because Bo is out there at Dave & Buster's. And don't forget the Panther game. Panthers at San Jose tonight, 10:30. Any interest at all?
No. Bye, bye, bye. The Neil Rogers Show on 560 WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
I've got 2 sets of lips.
Just lick 'em.